Welcome to the live stream.
Yep. Welcome, everybody. Got me.
I figured I was going to get you this time just because you messed with me last time.
Yeah, you did. You got me. What's up, everybody?
I tell you all about it.
Welcome, John, Jason. I am Punchy's in the house. Low live.
That time.
All Python love. Photo Danger Zone. Mary, welcome. Curtis. What's up, HillJack? Alberto.
Welcome. Derek's in the house. Reptile Hutch.
Gypsy Girl.
Paul.
Carche. Bunch of people here. Welcome, everybody. Down here below, we have Gary Orner from Orner Exotics with us right now.
Hey.
Welcome, Paul. We'll let everybody get in there for you, say the highs, and we'll get on to asking questions. We got another guest, Andrew from DA, coming on. He's running a little late, so he'll join when he can get in.
He's way late.
Yeah, so.
Hey, Mary, what's going on? Welcome.
I am Punchy. Man, let me tell you what, y'all missed a good video the other night. If you didn't watch Ball Python Loves live stream, late night live stream, they had I am Punchy and Jerome Paulin from they're both from No Limit Royals. They fed 250 snakes in about 10 minutes.
I'm not even, that was the fastest shit.
One was opening tubs, one was slinging rats, and they were just getting it, boy. It was like
that was the fastest I've ever seen snakes fed in my life. I mean, yeah, it's crazy. There was a couple fumbles and a double dribble, but for the most part, most of them made it in the tub. It was pretty good. It was.
Yep.
I'd never seen it done quite like that before.
Yeah, Jason, take your time, buddy. Go do what you need to do.
Cold-blooded monsters. Oh yeah, I bet Jason's furious.
Yeah, they had a system down feeding them snakes. It's a lot of snakes to feed, every week, So.
Well, yeah, 250 damn snakes. It's like holy shit, man.
I mean, it's a lot. But I mean, they had a process and it worked good. So it was good to watch anyway.
You could watch it and you could tell it was not their first time. By no means. Yeah, it was like that was pretty good. That was really good. Crazy stuff.
I hear you, HillJack. Yeah, it was. Yeah, but you also got other things to feed besides ball pythons, HillJack. Yeah, you got the retics, the berms, the alligator, snapping turtle, the alligator,
zoo,
the cobras, the rattlesnakes. I mean, you got.
There you go. If you need somebody to house some shit, that's the guy for you right there. Is that HillJack?
He's in Pennsylvania.
For a cobra. Yeah, he's looking for a cobra.
Oh, he's looking for a king. He has a couple cobras. He's looking for a king.
What?
He doesn't know where to get one.
What kind of king cobra?
I'm not sure. I didn't even think about asking you.
I mean, I can get you in touch with the people that's going to do it, but I mean, certain ones do better than others. But we can get king cobras.
There you go, HillJack.
Message
me. I'll get you in contact with some of the people. Just know,
Just got what did he just get?
I just got a puff adder.
Puff adder, that's what it was. Yeah.
Rockets.
Puff adder.
Puff adders are rockets.
Yep.
Puff adders are rockets. If you just got a puff adder, just be careful. If they're in the corner of the cage, they'll kind of curl up, or to the back of the cage, they'll launch themselves from that point, and they'll launch themselves. So their strike range isn't that 2/3; they jump.
That's crazy.
I just seen a video today of some guys, and they were puff adder out in the wild, and that thing, you're absolutely right. It just it coiled, like it just it was like it was like a sprite. Like, dang, look at this little thing go.
And any of them adders, the bitis and stuff, I wouldn't want to know. That'd be the worst bite in the world.
He pain. Said, oh shit! How do I get a hold of you, brother? Is what he said. No, this is no joke. He's not just inquiring. He really wants a king. I mean,
you can search me on YouTube. I own Orner Exotics, Gary Orner on Facebook, or you can just email me at Gary at OrnerExotics.com. There's tons of ways. I mean, you can just Google my name and tons of ways to come up.
HillJack, I'll send you a text later after the show, brother.
Like seriously, the people that I could get the kings from though, they'll kind of question you. Don't take it personal. They'll make sure that you know, because kings are one of the hardest to keep alive. They go nuts, and they're dangerous.
Is there a certain species you recommend that's easier to captive, captive than
captive bred? I don't even know if anyone's got captive bred right now.
Well, I mean, that's easier to keep in
captivity.
Yeah.
The younger ones seem to do better. Any of the species, the younger you can get, the better they seem to do.
Better, yeah.
So don't jump out there and get like a 12-foot adult, 13-foot adult. They tend not to do well. Make sure you have snakes.
Oh yeah.
Paul, yes, he was really big into the venomous.
Right now, I don't keep kings because where I live, I don't keep any venomous snakes anymore. But my whole, should I say, my background on venomous snakes.
Yeah, just do your backstory so everybody kind of knows a little bit about you.
I started out in snakes. I was, well, should I say, if you go way back, I was an alligator seller. That's why I'm so passionate about keeping and rescuing alligators. I sold more alligators in the state of Ohio than anyone else. I was the alligator king. I don't do that anymore. King. Yeah, the alligator king. Like, if you want an alligator, people came to me. But anyways, then I got into snakes. I started doing jungle carpets and your blood pythons and stuff like that. And I started the reptile room. I was on Bob Clark's forum. And people didn't like Bob Clark's forum, so I started TRR. I kind of became the place for venomous people to post. And one of my buddies, Ray Gusha, kind of said, hey, guess what? We're going to send you a bunch of venomous snakes. Cool. I got waggler eye, mangroves, stuff like that, and pygmy rattlesnakes. It grew from there. I had at one time over 300 venomous snakes at my house.
Jesus, that's a ton of snakes.
If you find old videos of me sitting and doing head talking like we are now, you would hear the rattlesnakes in the background. You just hear them all. I got videos of my boom slangs. Martin Smith, when he broke the record living with venomous snakes, 2010-ish, 2008. He made a Guinness Book World Records over in Africa. He lived in a glass house with a bunch of venomous snakes living, and he slept with them and everything. I used to chat with him with my boom sling out on the shells in a gaboon. I did some stupid stuff. I never was bit by any of those. I would rescue stuff all the time. I had Mojave Western crosses. You don't want those.
You don't want those.
Well,
don't tell some of the people in here if you say you don't. That's the one you don't want. These people.
Yeah. Well, Mojave's venom is different. Mojave, they're just different venom. And then you're getting that Western attitude.
Right.
They're just, and the Mojaves are smaller, and Westerns are a little bit bigger. So when I got them, I was like, wow, these are cool looking. But they would only eat chicks. They wouldn't eat mice. They would only eat chicks. And so I have no clue why, but I had those for 8 years, and most of my buzztails went to Jim. My gaboons and stuff like that went to a few other people. I don't know if any of my old stuff, because it's been maybe going on 10 years now that I haven't had venomous snakes. But I still deal with them. Like if the local government calls me up and says, hey, we got a snake to deal with, we deal with it.
All right.
But king cobras, I do have video and pictures of me dealing with king cobras. The big one that I wasn't there with, Ray Gushaw has a video because I'm so adamant against venomoids. He had a king cobra that was venomoided, and it bit a toilet paper roll and it filled with venom. So we used that video for the longest time, saying it's not 100%.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, right now I think I'm on my Gary Orner account. I have 16 YouTube channels. So
yeah, I linked his Orner
YouTube channels.
Yeah, I linked his Orner Reptiles down in the description if y'all want to go to that one. I didn't know which one he's going to be on.
Yeah, so. Orner Exotic's perfect. The reason I have 16 is because YouTube allows you to create a new account for everything you used to do. And back in the day, I used to just have Gary Orner, like this account, like I have back. I had to start over. I had like 400,000 subscribers back in 2007. And it died. I don't want to say it's a hacker. It was a bot. You guys know who Anonymous is with the white mask? You guys know that what I'm talking about? The anonymous guy that he goes after bad people. Well, so a bot would use that and then post that on your YouTube channel, and all your, they break into your account and then delete all your content. I couldn't log in and it's hard to get your account back from YouTube. And I'm like, I want my subscribers back. And then I started Gary E. Orner, and I just couldn't get back into it. Get back into making the videos because I had over 500 videos.
Hey, and can I make a point to people? Because I've made points to everybody in here 100 times. If you're going to do YouTube, put all your stuff on an external hard drive, all your videos. So if something happens, you have all those videos to reload.
You ready for this? Make sure it's in the cloud too, because I do have that external hard drive. I have 3 of them, and 2 of them are bad.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 2 of them, because I moved around. Hard drives, now the SSD drives don't, but regular hard drives are mechanical. So every time I moved and they bounced around, the play went bad on them. So I got to find either that exact style hard drive,
Crystal,
move it and put it in a new hard drive, or send it out, and it costs like $700, $800, and I just don't do it. I mean, all my videos are on a hard drive. All my raw videos on 2, and then all my completeds on 1, and one of my raws and my completed are gone. That's why you see some like old videos from me, like shoot back videos, because I still have some of the stuff.
Right
on. I was pretty big on YouTube back in the day. I used to do Herp Radio, and now I do Fauna Radio. I even got professional lights. See,
because he's all fancy and shit. He's all, look at this.
We don't use the big Christmas balls anymore. We've got big since back then.
I don't even know where my camera's at. I got cameras. I have so much video now, guys. I should have YouTube videos up, but I don't. I record everything I do, like everything. I set up and I'm like, I'm going to clean a gecko cage. Yay!
Oh yeah.
Crystal, welcome. These balls, welcome. I'm sure some of these.
The Reptile Hutch said get expensive externals. My external hard drives back in 2007, I think, cost me $500 a piece. But they're not SSDs; they're hard drives. So the bouncing around just sucks for them. And they're slower. Blah blah blah. But like now, I don't know if I got. Yeah, here's one. This one's 3 terabytes. I just unplugged it. But I have stacks of these. I mean, stacks and stacks of the pocket ones. I call these pocket. They're just a laptop hard drive in a case. And then I got the big ones. Behind this thing, I have 3 server stacks that I use just for my cloud backup. I got my own cloud. So if I'm out in the field, I can go and I can upload it, and it gets uploaded to that stuff.
Right.
I'm a computer nerd. That's what I am.
So
there's my mic.
You're starting a thing where you have a platform called the Reptile Room.
Yep.
And in fact, I joined it the other day. You want to let everybody know about that? Because I know with Facebook, there's a lot of places that are just saying, hey, if you have if you're in a group about the ball python group or whatever, or if you're trying to sell animals on Facebook, they'll just delete you.
The Reptile Room originally was a forum base. I used to use a forum called IPB, and my biggest competition was Fauna Classifieds, Rich and Fauna Classifieds. I let it die in 2010. And recently I brought it back, but I coded a Facebook clone. Basically, that's what I call it. The back end of it's like Facebook. I don't have all the features Facebook has, but we don't need them all. But it does have a marketplace. And it's owned by a keeper. So we can go there. We can create pages to sell animals. You can make groups. You can do auctions. You can post on the marketplace and only allow your friends to see it. So if you only want to sell to your friends, you could put on my marketplace, and only the people that are your friends will see that animal. I don't care if you make business pages. I don't care if you make a regular account with your business name. It doesn't matter to me either way you do it. What the big bonus is it's a social media site that has a forum now. I built a forum built into it. I just coded that this morning. Well, added it. I coded it yesterday. And it's for us. It's not for anyone else. It's for the pet community. You don't have to worry about anything. No one's going to delete anything. I'm the only one that has power to do that anyway at this very moment. And I don't care. The people that don't know, the Reptile Room used to have a place called the War Room. It was a very nasty place. I rarely posted in it. It was just a place that had no rules. It was for reptile people, had no rules. If you go to Fauna Classified, you see the Hell forum. Rich will tell you to this day, Hell was created because of the War Room. So I think that everyone could go over there and make the switch from Facebook over to there for their animal community, and we won't have to worry about losing 20,000 members in a group anymore. It just won't happen. I mean, I'm seeing groups that have 50,000, 100,000 to get deleted the other day.
Damn.
Not to live and feed that way.
They're talking about the venoids.
Oh, the venomoids. The reptileroom.org.
They've been talking about it for a minute, yeah.
Yeah, the reptileroom.org is where you want to go for that. Venomoids ain't as big as it used to be. I was really involved in the venomoid thing back in the day. There was a vet. There was only one vet. He was in New York. And here's the kicker with this. He was in New York doing venomoid surgeries, and it's illegal to own venomous snakes in New York. Figure that one. And I mean, my whole point was doctors make mistakes every day. A doctor could make a mistake when they took out my tumor. I had a tumor taken out of my neck
Dylan?
2 years ago. And if a doctor can make a mistake, a vet can make a mistake. And if you leave any part of that venom gland behind, it will repair itself and make the animal venomous again. And now there's another person that makes venomoids. He's in Australia. I won't even say his name. He hates my guts too. I hate his guts. He's in Australia.
It's mutual.
Yeah, it's a mutual thing. That guy, if he sees my name, he usually goes the other way. But yeah, that's the only other venomoid person I know. I know venomoids are still in the United States. I get it. So it's a touchy subject with me. If you want to play with venomous snakes, it's not if you get bit, it's when. So just know that going in, don't take the venom out of the snake.
Right. Exactly. I mean, you know, it's a different hobby. It's a different, you know, you got to be on your toes and stay out of the strike zone. But I agree. If you're going to get venomous, leave them venomous.
Welcome.
And I believe I'm a full supporter. You should have your own AV. Zoos carry enough for usually 2 bites. So if you take their AV and one of their keepers get bit, you could risk their life. So AV is not as hard to get as people think. There's red tape you got to go through, but if you're doing everything right, you can get it. I mean, typus for the boom slings, I don't think it's going to be able to be gotten right now. It's kind of rare, but for most of your rattlesnakes, most of your cobras and stuff, you can get all that stuff. And yes, it does have a shelf life, but I do know people's used anti-venom that is past its shelf life.
Yeah.
I know for a fact.
They say it. Yeah, I mean, they're gonna use it anyway, just in case on the way to go get new shit or whatever.
Hi, Rachel. Welcome.
You know?
Anti-venom is not FDA approved.
Yeah.
So the shelf life thing, I mean, if it matters on what snake I was bit by, and I'm not a believer in cutting. I don't like that. I won't cut myself. Like if a rattlesnake bit me for swelling, I don't believe in that. Usually a venomous keeper should know more about the venomous bite than their doctor. They should truly know more about it than the doctor. So always research. That's the first thing. You want to get into venomous snakes, research what the bite's going to do to you. It like a boom sling, you're going to die. You're just going to die and you're going to bleed from every orifice of your body.
Not very pleasant at all.
No, but like bitis. I mean, you can get bit by a gaboon and get AV and die.
Right.
Not boom sling. I mean, the gaboons are just nasty. They got a nasty bite.
The rhino has both hemotoxin and neurotoxin, though, right?
Yeah, most of your venomous snakes will have all of it.
Welcome.
At some sort of extent, you know.
No broke balls, welcome.
The neurotoxins, the cardiotoxins, like the king cobra. The king cobra itself, drop for drop, is not as venomous as some other species. Okay,
right?
They just pump so much into you. But now, and now another thing I believe in though is when someone says which one's more venomous, and I always say, well, dead's dead. Doesn't matter how you get there, dead's dead. Like boom slings were thought to be very harmless.
What type of dead?
Yeah, that's dead. Like boom slings thought to be harmless until that gentleman passed away, got bit. I would not want to be bit, but boom slings are really laid back. They're bluffers. But I still want one to be bit by one. Like your king cobras are bluffers too. A lot of cobra species bluff a lot. When they're hooded, they'll bluff. But they'll bite. I mean,
who wants to take that chance though?
Yeah, exactly. My monocle cobras would bluff all the time. They would charge, and then they were like, "Oh, I'm not getting anywhere," and then they would go off.
Exactly. The one that bit you is the most venomous.
That's exactly it. The one that bit you at the time is the most venomous.
That's what the venom keeper. It's in his little intro. It says that same thing.
Yeah.
The most venomous snake is the one that just bit you, or something like that. He quotes it.
And you'll hear me say a lot of things that Al said, Viper Keeper and Ray Hunter, because they're the ones that taught me.
Tons of that guy's videos, tons of them.
I mean, it's just venomous. The venomous world is a different world too. It's just a different. How should I put it? It's like an inside group.
Yeah.
Like
I've heard that they're you have like your ball python groups and stuff, but I heard venomous is just they're totally different, and they will let you know real quick. They'll
let you know, and to tell you the truth, I mean, we would give each other snakes all the time. Like, oh, I got pygmies, you want them? I'll send you a bunch. Or, oh, dude, I'm looking for an eastern diamondback rattlesnake. Oh, Gary, I got one. I'll send it to you. That's how we did things. This is what we did. When I said I wanted pygmy rattlesnakes, I was sent 10. I was like, oh, I got 10 pygmy rattlesnakes. Waggler eye.
Some drum.
So anybody a couple of these?
Yeah. Mangroves. I was known because before mangroves were bred big and heavy. I bred mangroves back in, what was it, 2006? Maybe 2005. I bred mangroves, but I had the recipe to bring in wild caught and get them eating. I had the recipe, but it was really dangerous. I used to cook them, basically. I used to heat them up to about 102 degrees in a hot spot, and they would sit there. And you had to keep them hydrated. And for some reason, after about a week and a half of that, they would eat. And once you get them eating, it's over. You're good.
You just got to get them to eat, yeah.
Because wild caught mangroves, dude,
Rats, pythons, welcome.
They hate eating.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Now I could talk snakes all day long. I could do this all day long.
Oh well, yeah, and that's what everybody, that's what this community is about. Is we bring in people here. We're not bringing in Brian Kesko, Brian Marchek, Jake.
Yeah, we got people.
We're not here to.
We got people that just have ball pythons. We got.
We're trying to show more of the smaller time breeders and get their names out here to everybody. You know what I mean? And then just what we do here is, and we have it many times. People can come in here and ask a question and not feel stupid like they do on Facebook, because
exactly. You can get murdered in Facebook, man.
And that's what we wanted to do here. Is any question is not a dumb question. Because we save more snakes' lives, I think, than most people on Facebook.
And that's the way it should be. Everyone should be able to ask questions and be able to put out there, what am I doing?
Me that message me, and they're all like, you saved my snake's life. And it was just about like little feeding advice or something. And it's like, well, shit, right on, man. Hey, yeah,
That's what it's all about. I mean, it's what it's all about. And that's why I feel bad when I get messages and I skip over some messages to get a lot of stuff. This place is good for all types of stuff. Yes, it is.
And you see what his name is, fully envenomated.
Yeah.
So if he can come in here where most people are buying ball pythons or monitors or retics, that's what you're saying. This right here community we have here, it don't matter what you keep. We're here to try to help everybody.
Well, and that's like I always say, the more shit that we share and the more information that we share together, all it does is help the animals. Who cares about the humans? It just helps the animals.
No.
It's like,
that's
key.
That's how I am. When I do my videos, I don't even show my face usually. It's usually the animals, the geckos, or, I should put up some old venomous stuff, but when I do, people think I own it here. I was called by the people that give me alligators here. Goes, you got venomous there? I'm like, no, it's an old video.
Yeah, I've seen the video. Yeah.
I'm like, it's an old video. Seriously? I mean, you could tell by it wasn't widescreen and it was jumpy. And I'm like, seriously? So.
Hell yeah. But yeah, that's it's all about the animals, number one. I mean, that's what it should be anyway.
Welcome. Jerome.
And it's hard to find
everybody.
it because everybody wants to just, you know how it is. Just people are out for everybody.
Yes.
So.
I mean, I've done my stupid stuff in my lifetime too, especially with venomous. I've done.
Who hasn't? Who hasn't made a mistake though?
Like my biggest one, and someone would probably bring this up to somebody someday because I put it on my YouTube. You know how people kiss the top of cobras' heads all the time?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's easy. They don't strike up. I got a video of me tickling their chin. That was the stupidest thing I ever did. I took out a 6-foot monocle cobra, got her to hood up, and I tickled her chin. And I was holding the camera in one hand. That I'll never do it again. I was a show off. I was young.
Thank you, man.
Don't do that. No one do that. It's bad. You'll die.
Yeah, don't itch the chin of a cobra.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
HillJack's probably like,
but you see that. I mean, if you watch enough YouTube, you see that. I mean, and I'm sure everybody in the chat knows David's feed.
Yep.
With the kid with the long fingernails and the weird, he goes out and catches kings and all kinds of cobras and he pets them and I mean,
the king cobra is the one that.
I don't know, dude. It's just I think it's just one day. I mean, I realize there's people that can deal with animals. They're like Steve Irwin, but it's just a matter of time, I think, before he's going to get bit, dude.
Well, there's a difference between monocle cobras are the stupid cobra, I think, like the dumb one. They're kind of lumpy. They're like, I'll bite you, then they'll go away. King cobras think. I'm not joking. When you look at a king and they're in front of you, they're thinking what to do. There's only one other animal that I've ever seen that is like that, and that's a croc monitor. Croc monitors think. They actually think.
For sure.
And Tom Crutchfield's a perfect example. He has these croc monitors, and they're like dogs. And it's because he respects these animals, and he shows them he's not a threat. And croc monitors know this. And king cobras they're a thinker. They do not make the same mistake twice. King cobras do not. And that one, I can't think of his name now, Tom's friend. Noland? That's last name?
Nolan.
Yeah,
Nolan.
when he got bit. That was a mistake on his part. And he knows it. Yeah. It was totally a mistake on his part. It's just kings are a different animal when it comes to, I mean, everyone's like, oh, retics are that smart. The king cobras are a different level. They are very, very, very intelligent animals.
Well, yeah, monitors are, you can tell. And even Tom got bit by his croc. And he said it was my fault. It was my fault.
Up, man?
And you seen the bite. It was bad, dude. I mean, there ain't no joke,
If I had to choose to be bit by a monitor species, the croc would be last on the list.
Oh, yes, sir.
For sure. Yeah.
Yes,
my Nile, I have a 5-foot Nile monitor, and I can click, and he'll come up to me. He knows the difference between people. I don't show him because he does whip, he does hiss, and I don't like that to show people that. But I do have a 5-foot Nile that if I can put a mouse on my hand, he'll come up and take it out. He's very calm. He's very laid back. He's a male all the way. You can tell. He's a male. But yeah, I dealt with so much. I started with snakes. The only reason I started doing geckos, and I'll be honest, inch by square inch, they make me more money than anything else. Ball pythons can't make me this. Inch per square inch, I can produce more leopard geckos, and I wholesale them out. Like, it makes me more money. I don't have to have incubators for closets. I don't have to. I can put them all in one room, and I'm done. That's why I went to them, and I looked at JMG. JMG got me going, and I was buying off him for a while and selling. I was buying like his wholesale stuff, and I was selling it. And I'm like, well, how hard is this to produce? And literally, I just put them together, got eggs like 3 weeks later. I was like,
it's like not that hard.
I was like, okay. So at that time, I had 6 reptile rooms in my house. Me and my brother did. We had the retic berm room, which was all the big stuff. Then we had my venomous rooms, and then we had a large lizard room, and then we had the snake rooms. And I said, we got to make our gecko room. And then we did. We made a gecko room, and we started breeding geckos. And it was a fun little thing. It was fun. And now that's all I got. I mean, that's what I'm known for now. Leopard geckos. Yay.
That's funny. Well, I mean, hey, make money, and that's it, you know. So.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's all a business in the end for the most part. I mean, if you're in it for the business, and then you treat it that way.
Yeah, that's why I do it. I mean, could I survive off my leopard geckos? If I and did shows and traveled more, I probably could. This past year, I mean, I only produced 700 something because I cut down. This year, I'll be producing around 2,500 again. So, I don't know. I wholesale more off. Like, I wholesale to vendors that vend shows with me, and they put my geckos on the table and compete with me. I don't care. It doesn't bother me none. I'm like, whatever. Because the way I think is, if they try to undercut me, I can sell my geckos for what I sold it to them for, and they can't. I tell them that, don't undercut me. You know, but yeah, I do it all the time. Right now I'm a little low because I think I got a 2-day show coming up on the 6th and 7th, and I think I only got like 130 geckos ready. So yeah, I'm gonna be kind of screwed there. I got a lady that won $200 off of a contest, I believe Wally's contest. She's coming to Janesville, and then I got another person that's trading. I got to hold back stuff for Andrew. Andrew bought stuff off me. But Andrew might want 2021 stuff too, because I told him he might want some Gem Snow radar stuff, since I'm the only one in the United States working with it.
Right. And of course, where you stay now anyway, you're not even allowed to have venomous, right?
Who's that, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can have it in Wisconsin. I just can't have it in Green Bay.
In Green Bay, I got it.
Yeah, in Green Bay, I can't have it. I'm literally maybe 350 feet away from the line where I can have them.
Like 300 feet. That's
I live on the edge of Green Bay, and then I go into the next town. The road Taylor Street is the next town I can have them there.
That's like just being that close to have the good internet everybody wants at a good price, and you're like 2 houses down and it stops, so you got to get the other, and then it costs you twice as much and it's half as crappy.
Yeah, no, I think I found a loophole though, but I want to make sure the loophole's fine. If I got a building and I was on retail space, I think I would be able to have them all, anything I want, because I could say I export export out of Wisconsin. I think that law is in Wisconsin. I was talking to someone about it, and
there's always a loophole. You just got to find it.
But I was like, I work with them so well now. Do I want to do that? I mean, I'm looking to move anyway. So I don't know, because Green Bay is just like, there's nothing here except for my Green Bay show, which isn't going on. Dylan, get Green Bay show back. I loved it. I used to wake up, go to Green Bay show, start at 10, make my $3,000 to go home and eat dinner. It was so nice. It was so nice. And now it's like, now Janesville, we'll be going. I'll be packing everything.
Welcome.
I'll be whacking everything Thursday and pack the animals up Friday when I get home. Leave for Janesville, set up at Janesville Friday night, stay there for 2 nights, get back here around 11 o'clock at night on Sunday, and then unpack the animals and be back at work at 6 a.m.
Right.
Crazy.
So what's one of the, I mean, more higher end morphs that you do now? I mean, for geckos.
I have clouded. That's my line of melanistic. It's just like Black Knight. Well, not just like it, but it's similar to Black Knight. I have pure patternless. That is nothing else. So Murphy patternless. I believe I'm the only one in the country with those. That's producing them. I know Impeccable Gecko has a male that is supposed to be het free. So we'll be working on with him to get him some too. I have pure Eclipse. My Bell white and yellow stuff, white and yellow radars, stuff like that is, some of the best in the country. And then I got Gem Snow radars and Gem Snow bells. Not many people are working with those. Let's see what else I got. My red stripes are pretty insane too. I have red stripe, but all my red stripe stuff is Bell stuff. So a lot of my coolest stuff is Bell albino stuff.
Just said the Mojave.
Mojave rattlesnake.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't have any.
Moto Danger Zone just got one. Well, he's had that one for a little while.
Yeah, Mojave rattlesnakes are a little different. They tend to be sneaky. They're one of the few rattlesnakes that I've seen that won't rattle a tail and strike. They'll just come at you. I think at the top when I had the most Mojaves I had was like 50, 60 of them at the same time.
Jesus.
I didn't milk. I just liked snakes. I just liked them. I produced Bitis, the Gaboons, Boom Slings, Mangroves. Let's see. The Western Diamondbacks, them breed like roaches. They just you put a male female. Like they just breed. Copperheads. I used to breed copperheads because they breed like roaches too.
Right.
Everyone's like, I breed Western Diamondbacks. I'm like, who hasn't? I think when I was in Venomous World, I used to say Western Diamondbacks were going to be the ball python of the Venomous World because all the morphs were coming out, the patternless, the albino, the stripes and stuff. I was like, oh, there they are. They breed just like ball pythons. Not hard. One of the only rattlesnakes that I didn't have as an adult is Easterns. I didn't have adult Easterns. I've had babies and mids, but I never had an adult Eastern Diamondback. Them are massive snakes. They are massive. Yeah. That is the size and their spin. They got a death roll that they do, and yeah.
Easterns are cool.
Copperhead bite. Yeah, that hurt. I wouldn't have went to the hospital. I don't know. Maybe I would have. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, copperheads really just, to me, a lot of people, being around Oklahoma and places like that to me, it's not a snake that's going to kill you. It's going to hurt you a little bit, but I mean, I know a ton of people got bit by copperheads, dude. I mean, it's
it wouldn't matter where you got bit. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, to me, it's not as bad as some of the other ones, rattlesnakes and stuff out there, so.
Rattlesnakes are fun. I love my rattlesnakes. Buzztails.
Oh, yeah.
I call them buzztails.
Yeah. Buzztails.
Buzztails.
I love rattlesnakes.
Mottled rocks.
I like to watch them from a distance.
I'm telling you.
Videos
rattlesnakes are one of the easier ones to deal with as a whole because they're going to tell you what's going on. They communicate more than the other ones. But they're loud. Like you go in, you get one going, and the next one goes, the next one goes. You touch a cage, they go. Where'd Andrew go today? He's gone.
You may just said screw.
Yeah, I've seen some videos where it's like everything's calm, and as soon as the rattlesnakes get going, it's like, well, shit. The rest of the video is shit now because you can't hear nothing. It's like, damn it.
Oh, I used to do it all the time. I'd say sorry about this, guys, or I'd be filming like a monocle cobra, and all you hear is because they'd be in a tank, and my hand would be in a tank with a monocle cobra, and it echo because the sound would echo in that cage. I'm like, oh gosh. But monocle cobras are, if you're gonna get cobras and you want to work with them, a nice captive bred. Like I wouldn't get a baby because they're wet noodles. I mean, really wet noodles. But if you got like a 2.5 foot monocle cobra and you dealt with, maybe worked with someone else's, a monocle cobra would be decent. It wouldn't be fun to get bit by, but I mean, I think that's what Weathers was bit by in the chest, was a monocle, I believe.
Desert Wolf Army. I was thinking that earlier when I was reading all the comments
Yeah.
and shit, and it's like, if you get bit, it's always your fault. It's never
If
the
you get bit by a
fault.
venomous
It's
snake,
like,
it's always your fault.
Yeah,
But I mean,
okay, we're putting them in a cage.
I was
and
thinking
saying,
that same thing earlier.
but I mean, there has been people, like farmers, pull up to their gate to where their cows are, and they run over a copperhead and they walk by their tire and it bit them. You know what I mean? So there is instincts that, you know, in the real world, no, it's not always your fault. But yeah, if you're keeping venomous and you get bit, it is your fault. You know what I mean? But I mean, there's always times that you know, with venomous, I mean, there's going to be times you're going to have to handle that, you know, a stuck eye cap or, you know,
That's
or something like, you know, or if you got to do something with an infected fang or whatever, I mean, you got to still put hands on. I don't care.
Whenever it's at the pointy end, that's when it's a bad day.
Yes. I mean,
when it's at the pointy end. Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I've seen like rattlesnakes when they open up and you think you got them and they'll start turning their head and they'll try to get that fang, just that one fang. They know what they're doing. They're just trying to get that one fang in.
Trying to weasel it over there, yeah.
They know what they're doing. And I've seen people like get bit. How'd you get bit on the thumb? I was pinning or I was holding, and I'm like, ooh, that's why I tube. Tubing's a great way to handle that. My tubes used to have windows in them, and I would cut windows out. So I would tube the animal and then twist it next to their eye, and then I could get in there and work with a Q-tip.
Nice.
Right.
So I didn't have to go in the login. I would the window. Everyone's like, "Oh, you got holes in them." I'm like, yeah, it's called a window. There's a reason.
Hey, that's smart. That's clever.
Well,
yeah, because I mean, you like we said, you have to deal with them eventually. You're gonna have to. I mean, you think, you know.
Yeah, like my snakes. All my snake hooks were custom made. I went with a snake hook maker out of Columbus, and he was all about golf clubs. So I literally went out and bought myself these really light golf clubs, these really long ones, and I said I want a V hook at the end for my boom slings. Oh, and then I designed one for my kabooms, and then I designed one for rattlesnakes, and that's what I did. All my snake hooks were custom made for certain venomous.
Okay.
Yeah, I made my snake hook out of a golf club too. First time I seen that, I thought, damn, that's an ingenious idea right there. Because you can get golf clubs everywhere. And you can get them light. Got a pile of them. Yeah.
Yeah, you want them light, you get the graphite ones, and then you can just make that hook. And on my boom sling one, I still use for like other snakes because it's long. It's about 4 foot long, and so I could, because boom slings, I don't know how they do it. They climb on everything. They just get a hold of something, they climb. So I would be able to hook it, tail it, and hook it, and keep the bad part away from me. Because I had a male that used to want me dead. Like, want me dead.
Yeah. They just wanted me dead. He didn't like me.
Oh, all my other boom slings were chill as could be. They were like chill, and not this one. Al's got one that's pretty nasty, and he's told me about it. He's like, this one just hates me. And I'm like, that I want it. But no AV right now, and I'm worried about that. I'm like, I could see me moving, getting a boom sling, and then me getting bit. You got 24 to 48 hours to die, and you know you're gonna die. Right. That would suck. There's nothing that can be done.
That would suck. He says, yeah, it's gonna suck a little.
It's like,
a little. Sit there and wait for it. Just waiting for it to happen.
Yeah, let's see. Talking about Q and venomous. Yeah, venomous reptiles are huge. It would used to be a big part of me.
Encyclopedia.
Yeah, if you go on my Facebook page and you look at my friends list, I would say 20% of the reptile people are all venomous keepers, and like old school venomous keepers. And that's something you don't see. You don't see the old school venomous keepers arguing each other. You just don't see it.
Yeah.
If we get an argument, it's in person, and we yell at each other, and then we're fine.
You don't air it on social media, is what you're saying?
No. Like if I called Ray Hunter right now, I needed help, he would help me out. 100%. Tom Crutchfield is another one that people don't like the name. Some people don't like name. Tom Crutchfield, we wouldn't have what we have today if it wasn't for that man.
Right.
It wouldn't be there.
Ton of shit wouldn't be there.
Oh yeah, I mean it's everything. I mean, people that paved the road for everybody. Bob Clark, and people like that, them are the people that, that paved it for what we have today anyway.
Exactly. It's just, man, I am like struggling today with my emails.
That's crazy. Do they have old snakes? How old do rattlers get? Tom is a legend. Yep.
Yeah, he is.
I don't know how old rattlers can get. What's the oldest living rattler?
The oldest, I don't know. How old was that one that bit Ray? I thought that was a pretty old animal that bit Ray. It was an Eastern. I forget how old that one was. I mean, I know my boom slings, when I got rid of them, were the ones that I brought into the country. They were adults, and I had them for 15 years. So I'm going to say they were in their 20s. And I know the last I heard of one, it was 4 years ago. So that'd be at least 27 to 30 years old, and one was still alive.
Damn.
That I know of.
Yeah.
The rest people hasn't told me anything. But yeah, they live for a while.
Yeah, I'd think they'd live just about as long as most other species of snake.
Yeah, yeah. It's Ryan was just messaging me. I had to hook him up. The Herp Society. If you could join a Herp Society, if you got a Herp Society near you, join. It is a blast. I love my Herp Society. I mean, I got so many crazy people like venomous stuff.
TJ, I get that shit all the time. As soon as I put out a video, the first 4 or 5 comments within seconds are just bot comments that I just get rid of.
Yeah, I noticed that. My life had them.
It's getting bad lately, man. As soon as something publishes, it's like the first 10 seconds I get a ton of bots.
I do too,
Like,
TJ. Don't feel bad. It's something that's going on
I just delete them. I just delete their comments. Like, fuck it.
It's crazy. Yeah, Tom is a legend. The Lizard King, if you haven't read that book, it's a good book. And I mean, it's not just about Tom, but Tom's in it. They talk about Tom. And not many people know this. I haven't watched the series, so I can't say it, but the Tiger King, Tom is in the first episode, I believe. Tom Pressfield's in the first episode.
I don't know. Yeah, I think it shows him or something.
Someone said it was like about the reptile industry. They were talking about the reptile, and he was the one. I was like,
yeah.
I haven't watched the Tiger King.
That's a fucking drama.
I kind of was around when it was happening. I was like, huh. And Danny Mendez interviewed him a few times on Jungle Radio. But yeah, the Tiger King thing.
Welcome, Gay. Welcome.
That's why I can't buy tigers in Oklahoma no more for $1,000 because of him.
Exactly. No tigers. Tell you the truth, back in the day, before I moved and married Laura, my wife now for 11 years, I bought land in Michigan, and I was going to breed servals and jaguar cats. I had the permits, I had the caging. We weren't going to get anything as large as a tiger, but I was going to do it. I imported a serval. I had a male serval, mean as they're mean. Wild-caught servals are no joke. And I was gonna start breeding them. And then of course everything happened, and we had to get rid of that stuff. And I lived down the road from Kid Rock. Kid Rock,
there you go,
Clintonville. If you ever look up Clintonville, that's where Kid Rock lives. And I lived down the road. And when I say I lived on a dirt road, they graded the road with a tractor and a grate. Yeah, Clintonville, Michigan. It was a fun time. I enjoyed it. We had 5 ponds on the property, so we were gonna try to do something with that and do something with large cats and stuff. And that was a dream. And yeah, I'm glad it didn't happen. Let's just say that.
There you go.
I'm glad it didn't happen. Yeah, I remember that serval. It cost me $2,500.
Yeah,
You couldn't even touch it.
they still have exotic auctions here in Oklahoma all the time. You know, down the road from me, about an hour from me, you can go. Like I tell them, you can buy kangaroos and camels and whatever you want. You know.
Yeah, I don't know if
crazy.
Yeah, I don't know if it's in Gary, Indiana anymore, but right outside Gary, Indiana, used to have an auction. You go buy a tiger if you wanted a cub for $300. Just walk around the Sumatran, whatever.
Yeah.
I remember that coming in. That's a story you want to guys know about. I vended a Cleveland
$300 just to buy a tiger.
Yeah, Cleveland Cavalier, Cleveland Reptile show. I vended that every month, and someone came in with a baby tiger trying to sell it. Just carrying around a baby tiger by its rear feet, hanging this tiger by its rear feet, walking around with it. And I'm like, so I go up to Shay Hamper, and I'm like, what's this guy with the tiger? He goes, there's no law against it, Gary. And I'm like, oh, I'm just saying, what is he doing with a tiger here? You know? And he's like, no, he wants to sell a tiger. I'm like, oh, sure, cool. And he was asking $300 for it. That's what he was asking exactly. And
well, I'm sure he sold it.
No one at the show bought it. No one at the show bought it. No one bought it. I don't know if someone
good, I guess,
a customer level, but no vendor bought it because we were a bunch of reptile people. I mean, Fred and John Kick was there, but they didn't buy it because John Kick set up. Fred was never there. Fred was always in Hamburg and stuff. But John Kick set up on that one side. He took a whole wall. Who else was big on there? Of course, Don Hamper. Don Hamper, that's someone that's real special to me. When he passed away, it was really hard on me for a long time. He like literally, he was like a father to me in the reptile community.
Welcome, Andrew.
Hey, Andrew. It's an hour and 5 minutes.
He's been waiting on you.
An hour and 5 minutes, Andrew. He's looking at you. Can you hear me? We're going to fight. If you don't answer me, I get the snapping turtle.
I get the snapping turtle.
Sweet.
Give me 1 second.
I get a snapping turtle.
I can hear him.
We hear you.
You can give him 1 second.
Look at him trying to be me and all.
Oh, yeah. Don't give away my state secrets. Yeah.
Are you in John in Indiana?
Yeah.
Yeah. Does it still go on? John, does that auction still happen?
Okay, now you can hear you.
Now I can hear.
Cool. Well, I said that you didn't answer me. I get the turtle, so you got to send the turtle to me now. Thanks.
Yeah, okay. No problem. I got you covered.
But that auction though in Indiana, I'm telling you, it's crazy. Probably just like you have in Oklahoma.
Yeah, I mean, you just go down there and they have an auction.
Somebody's walking around with a tiger by its feet.
Well, I mean, you go in there, you bid on camels or kangaroos or exotics. They have it. You know, it's towards going towards Arkansas, but I mean, they have it every once in a while. They list it.
Can you just like, hey, I just want a bear. I found out something cool about black bears, and I want to tell this story. I was talking to my buddy Ryan, and I film wolves in Wisconsin, and I came close up to a black bear. Okay, I was within 25 yards. I was shaking because there's this black bear. The black bear ignored me and walked off. Well, Ryan tells me, yeah, you could have went up and petted it. They're scared of humans. They won't even do nothing other than charge you a little bit and blow air at you. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, they don't do nothing to you. I'm like, he goes, you were fine. He goes, the wolves are more dangerous to you. I was like, what? And he goes, yeah. So I started. There's a lady that shows it on YouTube, and she films wild bears, and she like gets into the cave with the cubs and everything, and pets the cubs with the mom bear there, and the mom bear just lets her do it.
What the fuck?
And I'm like, me personally, I'm 6'3", 290 pounds, probably 320 pounds now, but I was shaking. I'm sitting there like,
yeah,
I'm gonna die. This bear gonna kill me, you know. And yeah,
I guarantee that not everybody can go in that cave and pet them baby bears without mama doing something.
I wouldn't do it.
I could be wrong, but I mean,
I know if a deer blows air at you out of snows, you better run because they're gonna mess you up.
they're gonna screw you up. So I mean, if a deer does, I'm sure a bear,
Yeah, and the wolf hunt ended early. They only took 110 wolves. So that was kind of nice to see. But I won't be able to get back up to see if my pack is intact still. I do know that one family took 5 animals from one pack, which I wish they would have regulated a little bit better because that's going to kill a pack. But,
yeah.
But yeah, I want to get back up north a little bit and film that. And if I come across a bear, I'm still not petting it.
I wouldn't either.
I'm not just going to walk up to it because somebody said, "Oh yeah, it's okay to do that." Hell no, I didn't do that. There's no damn way.
But I'm working on getting some nice reptile like trips, with the Herp Society and getting that done. And I'll be filming it and taking pictures. I take pictures more than when I'm out than I do filming. I like my pictures. It's in Topeka. So see, it still goes on that auction. It's a crazy auction. When I went there, they had tigers. They had I forget, not a badger. Maybe it was a badger. They had a badger and a bunch of other weird cats. But I went there for the serval. I was trying to get the serval. And I got
there's a wolf. I used to live in Minnesota too, and when I was up there working, and the wolves have taken over, and there's so many of them that they're actually killing farmers' cattle and stuff. And the DNR wasn't doing nothing about it, so the farmers started going out and killing them because, they're taking their money away from them. So they started issuing permits to, thin the herds out because there were so many wolves for a long time. I remember up there,
The population in Wisconsin's only 800. Now with the 115 gone, it's going to be down around under 700 now.
Right.
The problem with that is the deer population's high. Okay.
Yes.
The hunters didn't want to hunt them. There's not a problem with wolves. The hunters wanted to hunt them to let the deer population go up so more tags can be bought. But the problem with that is
then you get sorry.
They don't kill enough deers anyway. They don't even kill enough deers anyway. They don't fill the quota. So cars hit more deer a year in Wisconsin than the hunters kill. So, and then ready for this.
Crazy.
The DNR's fight was this, and I was part of this. The pictures that people are saying are cattle killers and stalking inside of the cities are coyote. Every single picture's been a coyote. I'm like, do you know how big a gray wolf is? And they're like, well, that's it. I'm
huge.
like, that's a 60 to 70 pound dog. That's not a gray wolf.
Yeah.
A gray wolf's 145 pounds. And the DNR lost, but we lowered the quota down to 115 because of our phone calls. They ended it Wednesday. My issue is I do know that they killed 2 black wolves. They're gray wolves, but the black, and one was a male, and you could tell that it was the alpha. And he was a big boy. He was a big boy. So
I know when they did the hunt in Minnesota too, it would be full. Their tags would be full like within a day or two, and it's crazy. But I know too. I remember when I was up that area that they did issue a bunch of deer tags one season because of that disease that was going around with all the deers, and they were wanting to get them and to see if they had that, because people go out there laying a half a ton of corn out there in their field, and you get 100 deer eating out of one pile and passing that disease around. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't understand why they went after the wolves. And they were allowed to trap them. They didn't have to shoot them. They were allowed to trap. And I just don't agree with it. The reason I bring up the deer thing about so the deer population gets up and they can hunt more is because that was actually brought up in the fight. That was brought up by hunters to me. I'm like, I just looked at them. I'm like, you guys don't even hit your quota every year now. You guys don't even hit it. Now, if there was wolf populations, I think 1,500 to 2,000 wolves would be too many. But 800, what they killed could have killed off a pack. So we could lose 3 to 4, 5 different packs, and the rebound from this is going to be bad because they don't just take care of the deers. They take care of the rabbit populations. And, everything.
Yeah.
It's the coyote problem. That's the problem with the coyotes.
Well,
that's where it is in every state is the coyote.
Yes.
The coyote problem here is ridiculous. Today they were out at the corner. There's a big gas station out here. The truck pulls in and he gets all the farmers and stuff bring in all the coyote hides. And once a month this guy comes in and his trailer's got to be 30 foot long, 10 foot wide, and he's got big 10-foot sides on it, and he fills that up every time he pulls out here, and it doesn't even put a dent in the coyote problem.
No, and they're not afraid of humans either anymore. They'll come right up to you and they will attack you too. They don't care. Coyotes they mess you up.
And coyotes, they'll take a dog down. Your own pet dog.
Oh, yeah.
I see. This was the funniest thing. I belong to Wisconsin Friends of the Wolf, and someone went on there arguing us, and they posted a picture from their camera that this wolf, they said wolf, was killing their dog. It was a coyote.
Of course.
And they argued me, and I'm like, you have a 40-pound dog. Your dog was 40 pounds, yes? This coyote was not, I said this animal was not that much bigger. A gray wolf is, 6 times bigger than your 40-pound dog.
If you've seen a gray wolf or timber wolves or anything like that, Black, you'll see the difference between it and a coyote. They are much bigger.
Becky was driving to work about 2-3 years ago, and she seen a gray wolf out here, and the Game and Fish, she told them, and they went and checked it out, and it sure enough was a gray wolf. A huge animal.
Huge.
You can't compare the two.
If you've seen one, and if it was a male, it was scouting.
Yeah,
that's what they'll do. I got film. They'll send out one of the males that's in the pack, the scout, to make sure it's safe. They're moving. Something's making that pack move, and that male was looking where to go. They're very intelligent. It took me about a year to even be able to get within 100 yards of the pack. That's why I didn't think.
What was it?
It looked like.
Come here, tell these people they're talking. Here goes Becky. Will tell you the whole story right here.
Have y'all all seen the movie The Never Ending Story?
Yeah.
The nothing that was in the big rock.
Yeah.
That's what that fricker looked like.
It was a gray wolf.
It looked like the nothing.
It was a gray wolf. It was huge.
No, it looked like the nothing that was going to swallow me whole.
And and they're rare around here because of where we live. But now, like I was telling him about, like Gary, I was telling you the other day about the mountain lions. We have a lot of mountain lions around here. People see them in their yards all the time. They take cattle down and stuff.
Yeah,
but the coyotes
in the woods around here.
And that's the way I described it to them too. It looked like the nothing from the Never-Ending
Story. Yeah.
And the sheriff laughed at me. He goes, "But I know what you're talking about." Yeah. And then we went to, where did we go? And we seen it in the
Game and Fish place when I was getting a tag for Dave, and you saw it. You said that's.
I said, and they said they have not been seen in this area in hundreds of years.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I'm like, well, that's what it looked like.
Yeah, fully envenomated.
From the, that's all I described it as. Remember, that's what I came home and told you.
That's the comment I just read too. Fully envenomated.
They actually wolves will take the easiest game possible. So they're not going to come into the cities and hunt children. They're going to get the easiest game possible. They find rats, they're going to eat rats.
Anywhere.
Yeah, they're the cleanup crew. They're going to get the weak deer. They're going to get the weak black bear. They're going to get the weak grizzlies. They take care of the damaged stuff, and they're one of the only animals that will turn on themselves if one's weak. If they got a sick animal, they'll kill that dog. They'll kill that wolf. The pack will kill the wolf. They know.
Coyotes will take anything.
Yeah, coyotes will stalk, and they'll come into towns. It took me, like I said, about a year to even get within 100 yards of this pack, and I think they just got used to me being around. But they never came closer than that, and they knew I was there. No matter what I did, they knew I was there, and I would see one male leave, and then come back an hour or two later, and I knew what he was doing. He was scouting. Sometimes he would come back, and then like 4 of them would leave. it was the weirdest thing. I've never seen nothing like it in my life.
Wolf, you can hunt coyotes anywhere in Oklahoma. Most states they're open all year round to hunt.
They are up here, but you got to get a fur bearer's license. But
yeah, you got to get a license. But yeah, usually you can. I mean, you can hunt them anywhere.
Coyotes are a problem. I'm a big wildlife person, and I think that humans overpopulate everything.
We do.
So, if we didn't overpopulate things, the wolves would take care of coyotes. There's not enough wolves. There's not enough of the top predators. The coyotes are nasty. I can't believe in the Green Bay area. I go north, I see coyotes more than I see wolves because they don't care. They're just like, oh, I'm here, whatever, screw you.
But this is your alligator guy right here, Gary. He can get you an alligator.
Oh, you gotta give me an alligator? I don't want any more alligators.
No,
Justin's like, no. Justin's like, no.
Don't get her an alligator.
You remove a top predator from the environment, something else takes its place, and there's a reason that other animal was a top predator was to keep things in balance. Now they removed all these wolves because people used to think wolves were bad. Now you got all these coyotes running around that are crazy.
Because like the hogs down in Texas are moving their way on up. They're moving their way up. Them hogs are.
Yeah,
it's for, like where Chris here is at. He's got them jackalope problems down there.
Yep, jackalopes. Tried to get me one, but they're sold out of them.
And you said human's a top predator. I don't agree with that. Human is a parasite.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Parasites use something until it's dead.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what humans do. We just take resources. We don't give back. Wolves give back to nature. Everything else gives back to nature except for parasites. Parasites do not give anything back. They live off the host until it's dead, then they die. Mm-hmm. Humans are parasites. And I'm a human, but let's be real. Like, I love this. When people go, I have an electric car, so I'm better on the environment. Well, do you know where that battery is mined? Okay, the CEO of Telsa is saying that if everyone went to electric cars, there was not enough power to charge them cars.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you think electricity comes from?
Right.
Nuclear plants and all this other stuff. I mean, it's a never-ending battle that we're always going to have. I mean, these are bad for the environment. The batteries that go in cell phones, and you guys gonna really laugh at me now. I don't know. I carry two. I carry two. I got a flashlight on one now. The stupid iPhone. I hate the iPhone. I really do. I don't know where the flashlight's at, but I'm just gonna turn it off. It's just. The batteries to charge is not good. The cleanest energy I can think of right now would be solar. But solar panels have a lifespan, and so do the batteries. So does that really clean? I just don't.
What about hydropower?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just everything has a life.
Right.
Everything has a life. Like we're sitting on the internet and the pipelines and this and that, and everyone's like, "Are you a tree hugger?" I'm not a tree hugger. I just look outside the box. When
people say we don't put a pipeline in the ground, let me show you the map of the United States and show you how many pipelines.
Oh, they're everywhere.
I mean, they don't realize how many I mean, most people don't. Honestly. They don't realize how many pipelines are in.
You do know what the problem was with this Keystone pipeline, right?
Yeah, our new president said no more.
This was even before that. Now, they wouldn't have a problem with the pipeline, okay? But it goes right across the Indian reservation up here.
Right.
It goes right through it. Now, they wouldn't even complain about it. But it's the oil sands that are coming from Canada, which when the oil sands have a spill, it's almost an impossibility to clean it up because that's the most dirty oil there is or something they say. And it's the most environmentally harming oil. If it was regular oil, it probably wouldn't be a big deal, but it's the oil sands. Canada wanted to shut the people in Canada, not the companies, because of the mining they have to do to get the oil sands from Canada. So the Canadian people were kind of happy that it got shut down too.
Yeah, but they're just going to pipe it the other way now in Canada.
They're going to
still keep rolling. That's the thing, though. You know, I mean, but
yeah, I mean, it's at the point where how much do we need? I'm
That's
back
for you.
still, man. It's just a scorpion to the face for a friend.
What the hell?
Oh, I have no clue what that means, but no scorpions to the face. Ouch.
That ain't gonna happen. Love you, Jason, but it ain't happening.
I could tell you a cool scorpion story. I think I said this.
Tell that story.
I think I said this on Fauna
guys.
Radio.
Yeah, you said it last week. I think I know what you're.
Yeah. I was at the Cleveland show, and my buddy set up, and he had a Death Stalker there, and he wasn't around. I took the Death Stalker out, and I placed it in my hand, and I was playing with it. And my friend came back and looked at me like, "What the hell are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm playing with the Death Stalker," and I put it back in the cup, and yeah, so I held the Death Stalker.
Damn. Yeah, I don't want to hold one.
And then they go from there. Ornamental. I got in trouble because I was trying to hold an ornamental, and it got on my ceiling. I couldn't get it down.
Yours is a forest scorpion, right, Justin?
Yeah, I have an emperor. I have one of you. I have emperor scorpion and forest scorpion. Yeah, Desert Wolf Armory's got a bunch of deadly scorpions. He got a bunch of crazy shit.
Who does?
Desert Wolf Armory.
See, Desert Wolf. See,
scorpions.
Desert Wolf's with me. See, look it. He knows what they're walking. They're not going to sting it. So, and I'm.
Yeah, he was telling us that the other night. Yeah, if they're walking and there's no restrictions, they won't do anything. He said.
So, do you sell them, Desert Wolf? Do you like have a website or a store or something? Or do you just have them as a hobby, like just a collection of them?
I wish Emperor Scorpions weren't so expensive.
You know why they're expensive, right?
Because they can't be imported anymore.
Yeah, they can't be imported no more.
And ready for this? About a year ago, I had 10 Emperor Scorpions, and I gave them to a kid because he wanted scorpions. And now I'm like, wait, they're worth money? I could have kept like half of them and bred them, you know. He wanted scorpion. I'm like, oh, these won't hurt you, and you can keep them communal. It had a big 55-gallon tank, and they were all nice. I said, you can take it.
Very cool. But that was good of you, though. Got a kid into the hobby.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he still has them.
Yeah.
I don't know how many he's bred, but he said that he gets babies every once in a while, and he goes, they're stuck to the mom's back the first time he ever got it. I'm like, that's what they do.
That's what they do. That's normal. Now he says they're just a hobby.
Yeah, I was just reading that. Yeah, just a hobby. So how is everybody tonight? I'm sorry I was late, but my son needed me to do something for him, and I had to run and do it. So
I would have drove.
You got to take care of what you got to take care of.
Yeah, I would have drove over there, not run.
Well, that's what I did.
Oh.
And I would have been fast as that, but on the way back, the roads are bad north of here because of the winds blowing up there. There's snow, not down here, but it's blowing across the road.
If you're talking about the link to get on, we got to wait for Irondogg. He's controls the show tonight.
There he is.
I'm back. Sorry.
Stopping by to say hello, Balls and Strikes Pythons. Thanks for being here.
So what's the name of this new radio show you guys got out?
Oh, Fauna Radio.
Yeah,
we forgot about that. We held that off for you guys, for you, Andrew. We had to.
Yeah. That's it's a great. You guys would really enjoy it. I think if you check it out. Yeah.
You can go to faunaradio.com and you can hit live radio. You can hear past episodes. I have to get some of the old episodes uploaded. I was a little busy coding TRR. It was kind of a secret. I didn't even tell Andrew I was coding it.
No.
I just kind of, here it is.
It is.
But we talk about everything. I honestly think our best shows are the ones we don't plan for and we just talk.
We just go with it. That's what we do.
It seems like that, don't it?
Those are always the best shows when you just start bullshitting and then it turns into 3 hours. That's the best stuff ever.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, we rocked this out and we hit good stuff. Sponsor wise, we don't really have sponsor other than Rainbow Mealworms. She always supports me. But We'll get it going now that I'm not coding anymore. I'm online more, but I had to deal with that US Arc thing today.
Yeah.
So where is Fauna Radio at, so these people can listen to it if they want to?
Just faunaradio.com. Just go to www.faunaradio.com, and when you go there, you can actually just hit live radio, or you can hit any of the ones that are listed. You can go to Animalia Radio too, but that's a little bit more. It's animal with an IA. Animalia is all animals. Animalia Radio is like the station, but Fauna Radio is where you want to go to get all the stuff.
There's
is that every Friday or what? I mean, is there a day every Friday? Or?
Every Friday at 8 p.m. Central.
Okay.
Yep. And then there's a page on Facebook for it. So if you type in Fauna Radio, you'll find it right there, right on Facebook.
On the Devil Book.
Yep,
yes,
Devil Book.
The Devil
Book. And I post it. Now I post it on the reptileroom.org too. So
yes,
I'm going to be all over with it. Now that I'm not coding as much anymore, I have more time. I'll be posting it everywhere. And getting this going. US Arc thing just kind of blew up. US Arc just kind of said, hey, guess what? We got this issue. And I got Ryan involved. Ryan helped me out today.
Now, talking about US Arc, and they want all these people to be members and stuff, but I think they would get more members if they fought, because it's not just snakes that they're going after. They're going after people's fish. They're going after their birds. They're going after the arachnids. They're going after everything.
Stopping shows,
going after dogs and cats.
Show, yeah.
Now, if they encompassed all that into one and one after everything, and I know it seems like it would be a lot, but they would probably get a lot more members, because I really feel that like the people in the fish community are extremely passionate about their fish, and same with the people in the arachnid community, and they're trying to stop the people with arachnids too. And
there is a community for that. There is a community for that. PJack is there. PJack. PJack's there. PJack does work with US Arc.
About PJack, yes.
The reason people don't join PJack as much is their membership levels cost a lot of money. I think the lowest level is like $500 to become a member. But you can just donate. And this is what my problem was today is everyone's saying if you don't donate, we're not going to buy from you, or you don't become a member, you don't have a badge, we're not going to buy from you, we're not going to sell to you. And I even kind of got on Ryan a little bit about it, because he says that let's vote with our money. If they're not a member, we don't buy. And he said that people that donate. But let's say let's say I don't want the 5 T-shirts and the pins that cost US Arc money.
Yeah.
And then they got to ship it. I don't want that. So why don't I buy the $5 a month bronze package, and then I'll donate them $1,000. I'll just give them I don't need to have the back end of saying I gave $1,000. And what about the $1,000 in geckos I'm going to give this weekend? How about the $1,000 2 months ago I gave? And then I sat there and my biggest thing was this, and I didn't want to say it on the thread, is everyone hates Brian Barczyk, but I don't think anyone in the reptile community is given what Brian Barczyk has.
Exactly.
The guy gives and dumps money to US Arc.
Same with and another thing. What if like Morph Market now is coming up with badges if you're a member for
US Arc.
US Arc. Now, what if you're not a member of US Arc, but let's say you donate 10% of all your sales to US Arc or something, and you do that every time an animal sold, and it's like say $10, you send them $10.
I do that every time I ship. Every time I ship, I donate to the US Arc too.
But you don't get a badge for that.
No, my problem is the level of the badge. I think we should learn from the past. Everyone here should know Fauna Classifieds. Fauna Classifieds is a very large forum, probably the largest forum still to this day of the old school forums.
Yes.
They used to do the BOI good guy tag.
Yes.
And you paid for it. You paid so much money. Rich made money, and you got a badge. Do you know how many dirtbags bought that just so people seen that and bought from them? And they start seeing, oh, I'm a BOI good guy. So there it is. So then Rich had to change it up, and he had to put in, well, if you get put on the Fauna or the BOI as a bad guy and it's bad, you lose your badge. My question is, who's the judge and jury then?
Yeah.
So the badge thing's kind of cool, but I don't think there should be levels. I don't think it should be this. Because what about someone like me that throws up PJack links and US Arc links on everything I do? I'm sending people there. And then how about this? Oh, go be a member of. How many people are posting to go be a member of US Ark? Me, Ryan, and Kevin McCurley are the only ones that did lives talking about US Ark, the site. Go there and read it. Read the action plans. Read what they are.
They don't follow what it. There's steps when you become a member, or you're not even being a member.
Yeah.
Just to fight these, they got to lay it out what they need you to do so they can fight this. And just becoming a member don't help. You got to go in.
Well, yeah. I mean, what if you don't? What if you can't afford to be a member because you ain't working or got the money? But you go to US Ark and you navigate their website and you sign every petition and send it in to help fight this. Shouldn't that guy be considered? Probably the bigger donator, because he's actually getting his name to all these, places saying, "Hey, we don't want you to ban this stuff."
I am
instead of saying
HR 669. I must have wrote 500 letters and sent them out in the mail myself, because that's what they had to do back then. They didn't, it was a big thing.
HR 669 really upset me because I actually went to the state of Ohio and I was talking. I got my 4 minutes, whatever it was, and I talked. Not one other person showed up with me.
See, that's
not anybody. But the HR 669 US Ark was just being born. I seen people posting that everywhere they go. Not on Facebook. Facebook wasn't around. It was all of the forums at the reptile shows. US Ark, US Ark, US Ark. But I was at the government, and no one was there with me. And then Brian Barczyk started showing up to his in Michigan, and we started doing stuff. And Barczyk and Kevin McCurley, me. I mean, you can still find interviews with me on HR 669 if you search Google, talking to local news groups. And I was like, that's where it's at. Now, am I saying don't go join US Ark if you can? Go join. If you can give $1 million, give $1 million. Awesome. But there's more to it than giving cash. Because Phil can't be everywhere. He can't fight it all. Because if you go to PJack too, there's so many more things going on. And HR 669 was a dangerous bill.
That was extremely, and it's still, like the putting all that stuff on the Lacey Act. It's still on the Lacey Act. It's just they've suspended the Lacey Act for time being, and they're fighting to get that back because there's species that they don't want, like invasive plant species that are on there that ruin like your lakes and stuff, and they're working to get that back in that.
Fauna classified's hard to navigate now, fully unvenomated, because Rich cares, but he doesn't care anymore. The BOI is dead. And it's just there as an ad support. As soon as the Google ads and stuff doesn't pay for the site, Fauna will be gone. I've offered to buy Fauna to let you know. I contacted Rich. I said, hey, how much do you want? And he basically told me, he goes, it'd be such a high number, it wouldn't be worth it to you because it's not there anymore. And once it doesn't pay for itself, he's killing it.
That's why they need to become a member of the Reptile Room.
Exactly. This is what I say, and I'm the worst self-promoter in the world. I hate self-promoting, but we have Facebook that's deleting everyone's site,
deleting everything. Yeah.
So the reptileroom.org is for reptile people. We have people wanting to donate to US Ark. The reptileroom.org supports US Ark and PJack. We need somewhere that you don't have to be controlled on a marketplace. TR has a marketplace and a social media all tied in one, that you can do whatever you want. You can comment, post more pictures, do whatever you want. Talk to the person right on the thing. All of it together. And I got a little under 80 members.
I'm one of them.
Yep.
Yeah. So the reptileroom.org is built by a keeper for the keepers. And the OG TR people will tell you I'm the most laid back. I sit in the middle of the fence. I would have my admin be in the war room, and the war room will not be recreated unless someone else does it. I don't want to deal with it.
Wow.
Now, the war room was nasty, but I would have an admin in that site, in that part of the site, and there was no such thing as admin in that group. They would come to me in my admin forum and say, Gary, you got to go yell at this guy because he called me this or said this or said this. I'm like, it's the war room. There's no rules. And I'm not joking. There was no rules. I didn't care if you could threaten to kill somebody, deal with the repercussions from the law. And I shut down TRR for 3 days because of that, because someone threatened to kill somebody and showed a picture of the person's house. And I had to shut down and give the transcripts to the lawyers in the law. And I shut it down, gave it to them. Like, I'm not, there it is. I can do what I want. That person did it, not me. Yep, you're right, Gary. Cool beans. I used to get death threats all the time because TRR. People would take pictures of me at the Cleveland show. I had my picture taken at Indianapolis. Said, see, I could shoot you right now. And it wasn't even me. I didn't even post on the damn site. It's just because I allowed it.
You know what the problem is a lot of people, not just with the TR, I'm talking even the Board of Inquiries over there at on Rich's site. A lot of people, let's say I bought something from Chris up here or something, and then I'm trying to talk Chris down on his price, and he won't give it to me for a discount. So then I go and create this big rumor about him and his animals. And, and then people jump on there like, well, I did buy something from Chris and I didn't like it the way the whole thing went down. And then they tear poor Chris down to nothing. And he really is nothing wrong with Chris. That's the problem. There was no real proof. You didn't really have to have proof. All you had to do is come on and say something like, this guy, I had this deal.
Just bashing. Yeah.
And then it goes downhill.
You do know I'm the only person ever put Rich himself on the BOI, right?
No, I didn't know you did that. That's kind of funny.
I called out the integrity of the BOI. I called out the integrity of the BOI for not allowing me to have a banner ad that I offered to pay for. He wouldn't allow it because it was my whole big lawsuit against Venomoid.com, and I wanted to get people knowing that Venomoid.com was bad. He didn't want to be involved in it, and I said, you take money from everyone else. So I called out his integrity. It's not there because he took down the BOI. I'm going to say, if you ever get in a BOI again, it's there. And Rich and I are best friends. Not best friends, but we're really good friends today.
Rob wants to know if you guys got a link to the Reptile Room.
Yeah, I can't type in there, but it's just the reptileroom.org. The reason it's the reptileroom.org, there's a couple reasons. The reptileroom.com was taken when I started it. So I got the reptileroom.org in 2004. And now the reptileroom.com, the guy wants like $2,000 for it. If it takes off, I'll buy it. If the reptileroom.org takes off, I will get the .com. I just want it to take off. I just want people to go there, post, have fun, post your pictures, make your groups, invite people over. Now, there is one downfall, and I got to fix the coding on this. There only can be one admin per group. So I will fix that. I will fix it. It's just going to take time.
It is the closest thing that I've noticed that's somewhat to Facebook that I've seen, and I like it. Yep. It's great.
And I mean, you can start your business page up there if you want. A business page, you can have, and like he said, if you want to just sell your animals to your friends only, you can sell just to your friends, nobody else.
Yeah, right on the marketplace, you can sit there to say all these are just to my friends, and you just trade with your friends, and it's done. No one other than your friends can see it. And like I'm on here right now, we got Will Beecher's on here. Then me, I posted up this stuff. To give you some big names, Andrew's on here. Neil Meister, he's a gecko breeder, kind of rare. Wally Kern, yes.
Fire Nicer on there. Yep.
So the cool thing about this, guys, is I control the site. I'm 100%. It's me. It's mine. So I got links on the right-hand side. That's US ARC joined today. I got PJack shipping reptiles. So when you want to ship your reptiles, it's reptiles to you. If I'm telling you guys, if we get big enough, okay, just hear me out. If we get big enough and people start shipping through reptiles to you, I can talk to Debbie and get us a bigger discount. But we got to start using that reptiles to you link. We can start shipping from there. Then I got the advertiser sponsors, how to advertise. I advertise for the Northern Wisconsin Reptile Expo. PJack's there, Rainbow Mealworms, US ARC, and then the Show Me shows. And the truth be told, I haven't received a nickel to advertise for anybody. And I don't want a nickel. I shouldn't say that. Rainbow Mealworms takes care of me. They've had for over 15 years. So Jillian and I are family. She's more friends with my wife than me, but Jillian's my family.
Cool.
I know.
You know, I mean, Facebook is shutting down a ton of people if they post animals for sale groups or anything, or just because they don't like you no more, because say something you do, you know. So I mean,
here's the thing with Facebook. I have a group on Facebook. I started it, right? And if I tried to delete the group, I can't, because it's got over like 250 members. It's got like 3,500 members in this group of mine that I started. Now, but if Facebook wanted to delete it, it's gone in a split second. Boom.
yep.
Yeah.
No,
done.
Nothing. They don't even let you know. No, it's a cactus group, and I had a cactus on there. I was trying to, get somebody, I was offering up cactuses, and they tried to say, you can't sell that on here. It's a dog. I'm like, it's a cactus. I had to fight them.
It's crazy what Facebook controls. It's just crazy. Now, there's a few other things that we could do on TR too. We could do videos, but I got to limit it to 128 megabytes, which isn't like Facebook. But if I allowed a gig, I would tear up space really quick. So once we get to a dedicated server, I'll up that. The other cool thing is MP3s. Please don't upload music that's copyrighted. It's more for podcasts. But you can do podcasts. And then I got a file sharing. So if you guys want to share price lists, contracts, invoices, stuff like that, you can do that too.
I know.
Cool.
Yeah, I worked hard.
Well, it looks like a few people are at least on here going to sign up, and that's where it all starts, is getting the word out. I mean, that was the main thing, getting you on here to get this out here, because I went on there, guys. I'm going to tell you right now. You see a picture, you want to like it. It's just like Facebook. It's got the thumbs up. It's got the laughing deal. You can do what you want. It's as close to Facebook as I've seen any social media site right now.
Yeah,
it's that easy. It's that easy.
And more is to come. I do have. I'm always coding for it, and I'm always trying to correct it. I'm going to do security updates and stuff like that. There's a few different things than Facebook. I cannot see your password. I cannot get in your account. Facebook can. I can't. I made sure that the privacy was there. I don't want anything. Now, can I delete your account? Yes. So if I have someone that's just posting pornography or something like that, I can get rid of it.
If you're being a dumbass.
Or scammers, somebody stealing people's pictures and whatever like that,
I can't get into your account. I'm not tracking you. I don't have a reason to track what you're looking at on my site, because
exactly, John.
Pet community. So all the ads are going to be pet community. Yeah, it is. Screw the drama. If we don't have it. And like I said, when we do the advertising on the Reptile Room, it's going to be pet related, 100% pet related. I have an announcement area, so if something happens, like the US Arc thing, or if someone needs to promote an auction to help out somebody, I could throw up a link, anything in the announcements I want, and everyone sees it.
That's cool.
We got polls, we got posting, we got, I don't even know what that button does. Oh, the colored backgrounds. That's right. That's what that is. I got colored backgrounds for you guys. Events. We got the events group chat. So you have live chat, and then you can make a room and just have all your friends in it every day.
I think it's actually a little more than Facebook does with some of this stuff.
Yeah, some of the stuff.
Actually, you could probably, if you have a group on Facebook of 200 people, and you could probably right now sign up on your Reptile Room and pretty well just get them to come over there and transfer the group over there, correct?
Yeah, very easily. And I don't block any members. It's very easy. You just got to have a real email. So you okay the account. That stops stops bots from logging in. And you create the group. It's automatic. I don't have to approve the group or not anything. And then you just share the group to your friends, invite your friends. You can invite by email.
Cool.
Mad cow, but that's right only. Oh man. A lot of my people that are on there right now is like Andrew guys. A lot of people from the Madison area Herp Society's there. Ryan and Eric has really been really supportive of it. This took me about
welcome.
Of coding about 20 to 25 hours a week to get done, and I used a backbone from another program. So give you a little clue about open source.
Hold on.
Yeah.
He's got a question here for that. I believe once you go to sign up, it goes automatically into create a account, correct?
Yes.
He says all I see is a login. I don't see
Yeah,
it.
login.
Right. If you go when you go to the site, let me just log out here. I'll tell you here. What you want to do is to the left, you're going to see username login. To the right, you're going to see create an account.
Yep. There you go.
Yeah. Because I wanted some people to see some of the stuff that was happening before they signed up. I think I let you see 4 posts. So right now, not logged in, I'm seeing Will Beecher's post, my post, and my post. So it's 3. So you can go over here. You just need to put in there a first name and last name. You could do a business name if you want, but both fields have to be signed in. Then you have to have an email, and you've got to re-enter your email just to confirm, and then make up your password. And the birth date, you have to put in a birth date. It doesn't have to be your birth date, but I tell people to do. The reason is it protects me for 13-year-olds. If they sign up, I'm not liable. 13 and under. Okay. And then you just confirm the privacy. The terms and conditions are simple. I don't want child pornography, adult content, hate speech against race, and stuff like that. It's a basic, very, very basic thing. Personal confidential information. You can't post other people's credit cards or security numbers. Copyright infringements. You cannot use other people's copyrighted material. No selling drugs and alcohol and stuff like that. Other than that, it's as long as it's an animal-based stuff, you're good. And once we move to the server, I'll be a dedicated server, and I'll be able to do a lot more. Right now, we're on shared hosting, which doesn't affect us too much. But once I get to a dedicated server, it's going to change.
Have a good night.
I'll be coding a lot for it. I want to do a Twitter that's linked to it. I want to do a Twitter type where you can do blast. It's going to be called blasting. And once the apps are done, because I'm coding the apps right now, I'm trying to get the apps ready for Android and Apple. And then I'm going to have a blast area where it just notifies you of your favorite business pages when they put stuff up. And the business pages can make blasts.
Nice.
So you ought to, in the future, you can get hooked up with StreamYard. So when we go live stream, we can stream right to Facebook right now. And we can stream right to the Reptile room. I'm
working on it right now. It's a shared hosting. Yeah, no, I'm working. I'm working on right now. I'm working on going live with our program, but on shared hosting I can't because of the bandwidth. Once we go to dedicated server, it'll be gone. But now this is the part I don't like telling people. The coding and all went on me, and I did a lot of the coding, and I might hire out now to do some because it's just gonna be faster for me. But the hosting on this costs me about $70 a month right now, which is fine. It's not a big deal. If I go to a dedicated server to get the right dedicated server, it's going to be about $600 a month to do what we need for bandwidth, because social media site is all about bandwidth and space. Mm-hmm. The actual RAM and the PC, it doesn't really matter as much as how much traffic coming and going and how much space is needed for the videos and the pictures. Right. So that costs money. So I'm looking at about $800 a month, or around $10,000 a year. I don't mind doing that, but once it gets bigger, I'm hoping we get some advertisers. I'm hoping that comes in a little bit. TRR was on a dedicated server, but I hosted Venomlist. If you guys remember Venomlist.com, I used to host Venomlist, and I used to host GeckoForums.net chat, and a few other sites on the dedicated server. But TRR was about 80% of it, and I used to pay like $700 back then. $700, but now TRR made me money though. I mean, it paid for everything. TRR is what paid for the radio shows and everything else, and I don't keep the money for myself. It all goes back into the sites. Right. I mean, if I had extra, I was giving away stuff. I was like, hey, guess what? Oh, look at that book. You guys want that book? I bought like 10 of them, gave them away.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, that dedicated server, I'm waiting for it as soon as we need it.
Up and made a post.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, let's see if I go. Yep. I log out,
Jay,
I log
welcome,
in and
welcome.
out all the
No
time.
life, cup.
How much, Jay?
Oh, it does. We do have stories there too. We got a lot of people joining. Jeez, oh, peace, sweet.
Send me a friendly request, everybody. Andrew, I'm even check marked. What is that?
Yeah, if you guys want to be verified, I'm basically verifying most people that start out in the site with me because I don't think anyone's going to come in like fake who they are from the get go.
Right.
But later down the road, they'll have to send me their ID, a picture of their ID, and then I'll delete it. I don't want to keep it on file just to make sure they're who they are. And then they can get verified. So then when you got a check mark, just like every other site, you're talking to the real person. Because I will have Mark O'Shea over when he has time. I'll be verifying him. I talked to a few other people that are on the more famous realm, and we'll see if we get them over.
I was answering Sherry there. Absolutely.
Hey.
But I mean, that's no different than Morph Market. If you're selling animals, you're giving them your ID and verifying it so you can sell animals. I mean, and
that's what I wanted it for, was the marketplace only, is the verify you are who you are. And I have something the marketplace don't have. I have social media and marketplace in one spot. Morph Market don't have that. They have a forum base. So I think this would be an easier transition from Facebook to this. The marketplace is a really, really big thing. I got to get it going on categories more. And I just coded 2 days ago where I can have moderators on the site now, but I don't need to be there yet. But once I get big enough, I can assign certain people to be moderators on the whole site to make sure that them policies aren't being broken. So nice. I got a list of stuff that I got to do, and live chat and live calls are going to be one. So you can, if they're on TRR, you can call anyone anywhere in the country or anywhere in the world. I want to do live calls. I'm coding that as we speak. That will be another server though. That's going to be, but the server cost on that's real low. It'll only be like $80 a month.
And for Rob KY Constrictors, buddy, sorry, there's no fans only page on this one. You gotta stick to Instagram for that one.
Yes. To tell you the truth on this, I was talking to Andrew about I own another domain that's called Socially Talk. Sociallytalk.com. I own it. And I was telling him I'm going to make this Socially Talk site like Facebook and have everyone come over because they're tired of getting censored. That was my plan. And It was a money plan. I was thinking money. Okay. I was sitting up, I forget when, and I was coding this for Socially Talk. I wasn't coding it for TRR. That's why I never said anything to anybody. Okay. And I was coding for Socially Talk, and I was like, I got this plan. I'm going to get it. And one day I was sitting up in my room, and I'm like, that's TRR. It's total TRR. And I just made the switch. And I put it all on TRR because Socially Talk, let me see. I think Socially Talk is up. Sociallytalk.com. Yep. Oh, yeah. Socially Talk is up. You see that says open source network on it and stuff like that. Open source network is the backbone of what I used. And there it is, Socially Talk, but I gave up on it. That's like 6 weeks old. It don't have all the features on there, nothing. And I was going to be like, come over to Socially Talk. You can do what you want. Post anything about any president you want. I don't care. And I was like, no, I'm a reptile person. So ideas switch all the time.
Yes, they do.
And so we just created TRR, and if TRR gets the size it used to be, I had to be over 500,000 members. I had to be 400 to 500,000 members. And it was because of the war room though. The war room, everyone wanted to get in. Everyone. Right. I mean, if I showed it, it was like every forum had like 10,000, 20,000 posts, and the war room was like 2.6 million.
Right.
People hate people.
The BLBC.
Strong manly man, open these for me.
The BLBC when they holy cow, I don't know if I'm big
The Bush League. Let me just come on.
Holy cow. You meant to bang that on something. Jeez.
It's
Smack it on the
plastic.
ground.
Cut it with a knife.
Anyway,
Smack it upside down on the ground.
Go get the kid.
Now the BLBC,
Andy.
huh? That's because I loosened it for you. What are you kidding?
Yeah, there you go. I was waiting on that one.
Yeah, you got it. The BLBC was good, but the minute they had the back porch or something, I think I can't remember what it was called. That's when they started running into problems with so many people joining. It went from like 10,000 members to like 100,000 members overnight. As soon as they had that.
What's up, Greg?
Greg, welcome.
Back porch,
Oh, 1,
Here,
2
welcome.
balls.
say whatever they wanted.
That back porch because of the war room. I wouldn't let Larry and BT in the war room after they complained. There was a rule. You complained to me about what went on in the war room, I kicked you out. Because I told people they had to ask me. They had to ask me personally, the admin of the site, to get in the war room. And I would tell them, if you complain to me, I kick you back out. And they go, well, it's not that bad. And Larry and BT both told me, it's not that bad. You don't know, blah, blah, blah. It took 24 hours for them to complain. And I was like, dude, seriously? I'm like, dude, they're ruthless. They were ruthless in there.
Well, Larry and BT were kind of, they come off like it's okay until something happens to them. And then it's like, wait a minute.
Right.
This is going the way I like it. I don't know if you guys remember. Do you guys know Larry and BT? Used to like Chris, Justin, you guys know them guys?
That's why they're not around anymore.
Yeah. I got it.
It's just
if I know them or not.
Larry and BT came along when the ball python market was just starting to boom. The champagne was a big snake back then. Champagne just hit.
That was you couldn't even breed a champagne to a champagne.
And I was doing herp radio. They started reptile radio. And they would get people, even though this is how much I didn't complain. I'm really good friends with Brian. I was going to his shop all the time. I never asked Brian to go on herp radio. He went to reptile radio, did interviews all the time. I felt wrong using my friends. So Brian would actually talk to me about it, like, that Larry BT guy, what the hell? That's what he would tell me all the time. I'm like, I don't know. And and then this one day they just kind of fell off the face of the earth.
Well, their biggest downfall was it was a man who had these, I don't remember what they were for ball pythons, but they were new and they were going for like $5,000 a piece, and he had like 5 of them in there. Well, his daughter ended up getting cancer, and he was like, they had to travel. They had to send his daughter down to St. Jude's down there. What is that, in Georgia or something like that? Yeah. And he had to go down there. And what he did is he had nobody to take care of him. So he put these animals up for sale on kingsnake.com.
For $2,200, wasn't it?
Yeah, for all of them. Not and it come out to like $300 a piece or something. Yeah. And they started tearing him up, saying they're junk snakes. He doesn't know what he's doing. And he's like, dude, I gotta sell these because I have to go down here with my daughter. That's no excuse. I mean, it was nasty, and that was it.
They used to say that it wasn't about the money, but they got upset all the time. They got mad at me because I used to buy and resell animals all the time. I used to buy people's collections. They could tell I bought it all, and I'm not joking. I got 100 ball python babies. I'll buy them all. I go up to someone at the table, I buy them all. And they used to say Gary was a flipper, and I'm like, how hard is it? Why do I want to buy? That. Like, why would I want to buy ball pythons? A 2-year-old can breed ball pythons. I'll let the 2-year-old breed ball pythons while I'm breeding jungle carpets, green tree pythons. I'm breeding the stuff that is hard to breed. So a ball python breeder, anyone can do it. So why do I want to do it? We'll do that. If I want to get ball pythons, I can go to Brian's. I can go wherever I want. But I can't find jungles. Go find me quality jungles. And they got mad. I'm like, you breed something a 2-year-old can do. And now look at today. I breed leopard geckos. Guess what? A 2-year-old can do it.
But, if they decided to turn on you, them two, they really turned on you. And I always said to people, I'm like, see, these guys are kind of new to the hobby. 10 years from now, they won't be around anymore. And that's just the way it's going to be because, them people like that, they just don't seem to hang in there long for some reason.
And people come in and they come in and they think they're bigger and better and they got to be center of attention. Mm-hmm. There's no king of the reptile world. There's no such thing.
Well, there's me, but I won't.
Yeah. I mean, people bring up Brian Barczyk being a king. If the hobby lost Brian Barczyk, it would suck, but we would move on. If people, the perfect example is this: the leopard gecko world, the king of the leopard gecko world by everyone's aspect is Ron Tremper. Ron Tremper's no longer around.
No.
So the leopard gecko world's totally fine. Is Ron Tremper a bad guy? No, I love Ron. Ron's awesome. Me and Ron, good people. If I left the reptile world, it'd move on. It wouldn't be a big deal. But I mean, it's just that people if they don't get that attention they want, they move on. And that's what Larry and BT was. They had to be that king. And when they got called on their BS, they created their own fate because they created this group that called BS and they got called out. They didn't want to mess with the war room. I had a following. I don't know why these people followed me. I still don't know why they followed me. I mean, I got Trips Evelyn. That girl, she'll tear someone up. She was one of the owners of Venom List. Now she's a Bitcoin queen.
What's upsetting though is like all the older people, like Ron Tremper's gone now. He retired. Tom Crutchfield is semi-retired and he's working his way to being retired. You got people like Bob Clark that are getting up there now and they'll be retiring, eventually, I'm sure. And they're leaving it to all these younger people that are way younger than us, that are like ruthless people. And it's like, I don't know where this is going.
It's just like with the Ozark thing. Everyone's got to be one up as someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Someone asked what geckos do I breed? The ones that I like. I could care less what you breed. Go breed what you like. I don't care. I believe
that you do what you want to do, not try to follow everybody else. It's like the ball python world.
Yeah,
if you're going to follow JKR, you're going to go broke, buddy. Let me tell you what.
Exactly.
Yeah, you ain't.
If anyone wants to make money at reptiles, first, no, and second, you better have a lot of money. Even to get in a gecko game, to get in any game. To tell you the truth, if you do your studying and you know how to breed the animal, if you got money, you'll do fine. To make money in this business, you better just have the money up front. Ball python breeding is something that a ball python you buy today for $5,000 in 2 years could be $250.
Yeah,
it's just the way it's going to be. That's why I like leopard geckos. Leopard geckos, we kind of take care of each other. Like the Cypher. The Cypher's in the right people's hands. The Cypher might go down to $400 at a time, but I would rather sell $100 to $500 animals than a $5,000 animal. I just would.
One thing I noticed about the leopard geckos too is the price is not dropping. It's slightly going up a little bit on some of these. I mean, you would think that with all the people producing them, and some of the mass breeders, the price is starting to go up a bit.
A basic Tremper, an ugly Tremper albino is going to be whatever, $50, $40. But the people that breed them to selectively breed them, that's why geckos are so much money, is I can put my spin on it. I can selectively breed for it, what I want. So my tangerine rainwaters, I sell for $200 to $300, and I can't keep them in stock. And so I'm like, I better raise them to $4. But someone else might be selling tangerine rainwaters, and they're yellowish and orange, and they're selling them for $150, and they can't sell them. Now, I might not be able to sell my basic Trempers like, let's say Ron, because he selectively bred them so long.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's just, you can breed for quality. Not quality. I hate saying quality because they're all healthy. The quality of the color. Ball pythons aren't there. Yeah. The closest snake that I've seen there is corn snakes. Corn snakes people selectively breed.
Corn snakes are considered the first domesticated reptile.
Yep. Yeah. I got corn snakes, but my plasma hates me. She wants me dead.
I do have a couple ideas that I'm gonna do once I start getting into the geckos and stuff. I had talked to you about it.
I think yeah, you don't know what you're getting because you didn't want to know, but I'm gonna hook you up with stuff that no one else is working with. That's gonna be amazing. Like I said, I'm gonna have stuff for you. It's just gonna be amazing. I just want someone that wants to breed.
There you go.
Yeah, but what I was talking about was the thing I have planned to how to move some of these things. It'll be quite interesting to see how that takes off.
All your super hypos don't get black dots. So anything super hypo. People think that tangerine and super hypo are linked. They're not. So your super hypo animals have no dots, or maybe one or two. A super hypo tangerine will be an all orange animal. So super hypo all yellow. But then you can go into patternless. Patternless animals also do not get black dots. They have pattern when they're babies and they grow up to be patternless. So them are the ones you can breed for anything, like literally. Leopard gecko world. I like how the chat does that. That's sweet. It pops up on the screen.
You put it up there, right? Yeah.
I do that.
I like it.
Yeah, you can highlight whatever comment.
Yeah, like
cool.
So
like if they got a question, I can pop it up or whatever, and then that way y'all can read it. You can look at the comments too if you wanted to. But
I'm looking at them. I'm looking at as we go too.
But it's cool, because I try to highlight comments, so if we're talking, I ain't interrupting everybody. You can just kind of see it move on when you're done.
I don't know if you guys can see this, but this is a patternless. But see how it's born with a pattern? I hatched that one.
Yep, and it'll lose all that.
And it lost it all, yeah. But that's what they look like when they're first, or at least that's what that one looked like when it was.
Yeah, there's a Tremper albino Burfy patternless.
Yep. Yes, exactly.
I get people send me geckos to ID all the time. That's another site that I'm working on, but it kind of takes backseat to other things because the information of leopard gecko like genetics. It's just deep. Leopard gecko genetics are harder than ball python genetics because of the line bred traits. Because if you get yourself an eclipse, you're going to start getting patternless stripes. You're going to get reverse stripes. Then you're going to get your normal eclipse. It's just going to happen. And white and yellow hypo out. You got to breed that out of them. I finally got white and yellow that don't hypo out. Line bred stuff is tough. Like the tangerine lines. There are different lines of tangerine. There just are.
Now the one thing I do know that gecko breeders go completely ballistic about is if you took a bell albino and bred it to a rainwater albino or to a Tremper albino. I mean, they go completely crazy. It's like they'll string you up for that. That's
the quickest way for me to never sell to you or buy from you. Yeah, I don't care if someone sits there and mixes the albino traits or the eye traits and they knowingly tell me. I don't care if they offer me $100,000 for one of my geckos, they won't get it.
Now, them the ones that have the neurological problems and everything in the geckos, is that what they are?
No, Lemon Frost and Enigma have the problems. Lemon Frost have the tumors, Enigmas have the spinning issue. But you don't ever want to mix the traits of albino because I don't care who you are, you can't tell apart. So you breed and get a double het, you're not going to be able to tell if it's got both albino genes in it. We don't know if it's a dead gene. We don't know. The eye traits, we just want to be able to tell what eye trait we're dealing with. There's no reason to mix them.
Kind of like whenever somebody mixes candy and albino and they have a normal that says candy or an albino, you don't know if you're getting candy or an albino out of it.
Exactly.
You know I mean, it's the same thing.
I
want the candy over the albino.
Crazy about it.
Like corn snake people don't care. Corn snake people don't. They just breed stuff like if it pops out, cool beans.
Well, we're cool. Same with the bull snakes. You can breed 2 normal bull snakes and get 10 different things and be like, where did this come from? They're like, almost every bull snake that you get that's captive bred is het for something.
Most captive stuff will be. Like leopard geckos, I think maybe John Scarborough are the only ones trying to reverse engineer stuff to actually get pure lines again.
John's got some nice stuff.
John is one of the people that I trust the most. I go to him a lot. A lot of my stuff here is from John.
Thanks, B, for
Oh,
stopping in.
got to work at 3 a.m. Yuck.
Well, it's 3 a.m. there.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yuck.
she's in the UK, so.
Yeah.
I want to go to the UK so bad. There's so much you could do with leopard geckos, and what's cool about it is, I mean, you can dream it, you can go for it. You want purple, you can breed purple. And I have a problem. I don't post my best stuff up. I just don't. It's just who I am. I post up stuff I got for sale, and that's about it.
What?
And Andrew, do you have geckos now, or I mean, I know you got rid of a bunch of them. I mean, are you getting back into them again?
No, yeah, I got rid of all of those because the person I had gotten most of them from wasn't 100% sure about the genetics, so they're gone.
Gotcha.
So now I'm starting all over. I got some stuff coming from Wally Kern. They're going to be. I'm not going to tell anybody what that stuff is, and we'll get some of that up, and then Gary. So this way, I know exactly what's in what I got.
Yeah, most of your captive animals are het for most stuff, except for the people reverse engineering stuff. I think it's important to do it. Reverse engineering is very important to get back down to single gene animals.
You can't get single gene stuff, some of that stuff anymore.
Leopard geckos are the only ones that single gene animals are worth more money than anything else.
Yeah.
So,
could you find a plain Murphy's patternless anymore, or is that kind of? It's kind of.
I'm the only one. I'm pretty sure I'm the only one that's going to be producing them this year. Impeccable Gecko Miles has a male. He talked about sending it. Maybe he had a female, but he talked to me about setting it up, and we split the clutch or something. Because my male I have a male that's pure. I've bred it to. I'm not joking. I bred it to Raptor. Let's see. It's been bred to Raptor 6 times. No albino, no eclipse. It's been bred to 7 bell albinos that are, some are radar, some are het radar. No eclipse, no bell. It's been bred to Tang rainwater, nothing. So we know it's clean. And I have pure animals that are het nothing. I got pure females. And that's how I produce my hets. And and now my goal is, I know this is bad. My goal is at pure patternless. I'm already there. I'm going after predators. Murphy patternless radars are very, very hard to get. Murphy patternless bell are really, really hard to get. A predator is about a $5,000 animal.
Yeah.
See, that's like I said, that's why I got rid of all my stuff, is because it was all mixed up. Couldn't tell exactly what was in everything. Basic idea, pretty much sure. But then when I found out where this person got him from, they weren't 100% truthful with me, so I figured start over. So
it happened to me. I got that from Ohio Gecko. He's no longer in business. I won't say where he got the animal from, but my founding male for my bell stuff in 2012, when I got back into geckos, end up being het eclipse, het bell, and het tremper. And I proved it out to be het all 3.
Yeah, see.
Welcome, Todd Audrey. Boys, warming up today. We're going to be going herping here soon, ain't we, buddy?
Oh, herping's fun.
Yeah, he's in Oklahoma. He's moving right in where I live, so.
Oh, that'll be nice. I wish I still lived down there, and I'd come and hook up with you guys too.
Oh yeah. Todd makes some amazing videos. If you ain't ever seen his videos, the quality is just out. I mean, this is astounding.
I got crazy ass videos.
And you'd think a guy like him would have 10,000 subscribers. You know what I mean? He ain't hit 1,000 yet. We're trying to get him. We're trying to get him to 1,000.
Close, I think
YouTube doesn't push the right channels, and the good channels get held down until we get it up over at 1,000 mark. Once you get over that 1,000 mark, it'll start going.
Yeah, you're golden. Yeah, we've been trying to get them there.
They push stuff like Kid Behind the Camera and Boogie 2988 or something.
Yeah,
Boogie. No, Boogie. I used to watch Boogie.
Everybody probably watched Boogie with her at one time.
Now I don't get into him so much because he got divorced.
Yeah,
and he put all this out there. He got divorced. He got that stomach thing, and now he talks more life all the time.
Yeah,
but Boogie 298 with the Francis is.
Oh, jeez, the Francis videos were hilarious.
Didn't he just shoot at somebody too not long ago or something on Twitch or something like that?
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's Linus. I like Linus, the tech guy. He's a big computer geek. But now it's not him all the time. I used to watch him when he was small. I like tech stuff. I'm a computer nerd. And what else do I watch on? I can just tell you what I watch on YouTube.
Watch a lot of Reptile, a lot of Tarantula, a lot of working stuff.
A lot of Bitcoin stuff right now. Oh, here's the other thing. I've been watching Shark Tank a lot lately in Australia. Australian Shark Tank is amazing. Yes.
Hey, there you go, Gay.
So
that'd be cool.
The American Shark Tank is awesome, but the Australian one, there was a 10-year-old kid on there that they go, well, you don't need us. They just like, you don't need us. He goes, but I do. He goes, I need someone to run my business when I'm in school. I was like, whoa. He's hiring one of these kids. I got, whoa.
He must hire them, right? Yeah.
Well, I'm just here to hire. I'm taking have a job interview with U5. Which one wants to come work for me?
Yeah, I was like, dang, I wish I had that. And then I watch a lot of gaming stuff. I'm an Apex player, Apex Legends. I know this sounds really bad. I'm a 42-year-old Apex Legends player. I was in season 6 a top 500 player. Woo.
One of my boys plays that game. I know. So
I play it. I just play it for fun. It's my bring me down. I like literally. I'll just get on and play 2 games and go back to coding. It just brings me down, gets me back to my normal set because I get stressed out. I have anxiety really bad. I get nervous. Like before this show, I was nervous. I was like, "What are we going to talk about? What are we going to do?" And it just goes through my head. And as soon as you said, "Let's go," I'm ready. Let's roll. I don't know why.
I was top.
You ain't the only one. A lot of people do. And most people get on here and never been on a live stream. And first thing they do is they have about 5 drinks, and then you can't get them.
Usually, they get all nervous.
But they don't realize it's just we're just sitting here talking. You really don't even think about the chat half the time.
No,
and that's where you get the comfortable feel.
I think the 20, 30 minutes backstage helps people more than anything. Because it's like what we're doing right now, it's the exact same thing when we click the button.
I was talking about Andrew that whole time. That was awesome.
I believe you were.
Oh, yeah.
He goes, he's out there getting something to eat. He goes to eat. That's his excuse. He's like, I'll take care what he told you. He's out eating somewhere. He said.
That's what I said. I was like, he's getting something to eat.
My son was up there doing stuff with his girlfriend, and he needed somebody to pick him up. They were supposed to do it tomorrow, but they had to do it today. So I was like, fine, I'll come and get you.
I would have told him to walk.
I would have too. It was like 60 miles away. So
that's a good walk.
Yeah,
that's a solid walk.
You get here tomorrow and shit.
No, because he'd get off the live stream about 10 o'clock and he'd be saying, I have to go get him now because he never left to walk home. That would be great.
Man, oh man.
Like I said though, Gary, I was one of the top Pong players when Atari first came out with Pong back in the day, and you had the little paddle, you had the
you were rocking it. I actually I thought of you because you brought up Atari. I have an Atari in a box back here.
Oh, they're cool stuff. And then when Nintendo came out, then I was a real gamer because I was able to beat,
I own like 40 games, but I play only 2. I play Apex and I play a game called Rust. And Rust is you start as a naked human being and you have a rock and you hit trees and you build up and you smelt metal and build guns and eventually build an empire and then you go beat up people. And you control them. You control the player as a third person.
I don't know if you could ever remember this, Gary, but when video games first for you to hook up to your TV, the real first one was the Odyssey.
Yep.
And I had one. I don't know, you might remember it, Chris, but I had Odyssey. And then it was hard to get the games for Odyssey because you had to go who had the games. It wasn't a big,
Yeah, because even like around, I think, after, them 2 game systems, then you had Intellivision and Nintendo and Sega,
later. Everybody thinks Nintendo was first, but it wasn't.
Well, how it went is Magnavox made Odyssey. And so then you had Odyssey 2, Atari, but Nintendo was around back then. Nintendo made games. That's all they did. So if you look back in Atari days, the very first Mario Brothers, one where Mario would fight the Luigi all the time, and it wasn't Mario World, it was just Mario Brothers. That was made by Nintendo back then. Same thing with Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong was made by Nintendo.
Yeah, Donkey Kong had the first Mario in it, and it also had the first Jumpman.
Yep.
So
and then Sony and Nintendo were working together at one time to make a console, and end up being the Sony PlayStation, and then of course Nintendo 64 came out with theirs as a cartridge. But Nintendo and Sony, there are consoles out there. Sony and Nintendo work together, and they're out there.
Yeah, Dylan, Felix the Cat was a porn cartoon.
Felix the Cat.
The first the Odyssey, when it came out, it would be a thing you would stick on your screen of your TV.
Overlays.
You would play like tennis or something, which was Pong basically. But that's how that started. And then they came out with the Odyssey 2, which actually had cartridges, and it was a little different, So
just think, it all started with 2 lines and a ball, and everybody thought that was great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And just like
Fritz the Cat.
Jobs worked on a lot of them games.
Yeah.
Steve Jobs worked on them. I love stuff. I'm a tech nerd. I have a problem. Like, I'll get off here. I look tired. I'll get off here. I'll probably eat something, and I'll start coding. I might play some games. I'll go to sleep by 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. I'll get up around 7.
I was going to say, and we text back and forth almost all night until one of us fall asleep. So,
yeah, I'm just one of them people that, and I'll wake up middle of the night. Like, I hurt. I don't know why. I don't know if it's my tumor because it's coming back. But like my whole right side hurts. Sometimes I can't sleep. So I don't know. It's not cancerous. Don't think I'm dying, people, please. It's not cancerous. It's just something I have. I'll get it removed again. I'll cut it out myself.
Well, that doesn't sound pleasant. I'll cut it out myself.
Oh, well, the first one, I went to the doctor's office and they thought it was like a boil or a cyst or whatever, and they were going to cut it.
Yep.
And they did an MRI and it was solid. And I'm like, oh, and he goes, yeah, and he didn't tell me nothing. So he set me up for surgery, and I was not supposed to go to sleep. I was supposed to stay awake so I could tell them and be responsive. He put me to sleep because it was next to an artery. And then when he took it out, they sent it out for cancer and woke me up, and they go, oh, we're going to find out if you have cancer. We sent it out. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, I just woke up. I'm like, whoa. And I found out next day I didn't have cancer. They told me I had to take 2 weeks off work. I mowed the lawn the next day. I went to work the next day. I had no pain. I have no clue why I had no pain at the time. The incision, there's like a big 5-inch incision on the back of my neck. You can see where the stitch is. I had no pain. It didn't even tingle.
Wow.
Must have get a nerve or something there when he cut it out, huh?
I guess. And then now I'm getting pains. I'm getting my headaches back, and it's about the size of a pea. So about 3 years ago. So it got to a size of a pea about in 3 years. But it's pushing up on that artery. That's why I'm getting the headaches.
I know. I had one on my back, right between my 2 ribs, and just a knuckle-sized, like about the size of your thumb, lipoma. And he goes, I'd go in and take it out with no problems, I'm like, okay, because it was bothering me when I sit back. So it was just a lipoma. When I woke up from surgery, he's like, do you realize how big that was? I'm like, yeah, you said it was the size of the knuckle. He goes, no, that's what was sticking out. He goes, the rest of it was inside your chest. It was as big as a basketball. I was like, holy cow.
Boy.
Damn.
They had to put big
it's crazy because I used to have, wearing a harness all the time. It rubs in the middle of my back, and it looked like a zit, and it always bothered me, but it wasn't. Well, I went to the doctor, and they X'd me. They laid me down and X'd it, and it was an cyst back there. And I felt him pushing on me, and all you see is like a pimple, on your back. And then that nurse goes, holy shit, I'm like, size of a piece of cauliflower, you don't realize, I'm like, God almighty, but never had a problem after that, though, it was just weird, or, well, that's just a calcium. They'll tell you that's just a calcium deposit. Don't worry about it.
Was that from wearing a harness? Because you're an iron worker?
CBD.
Yeah. Well, I think it was because, we never used to have to, but, you have to nowadays. And just that rubs right in the center of your back where that ring is that you got to tie off to just constantly, But it's cool.
People are still talking to me about the US Ark thing. Oh my God.
Doesn't stop.
It'll never stop, man.
Well, I worded something wrong. I put up on the Herpers for US Ark. I said US Ark and PJack should and can work together. Both have the same goals. I meant to say that we should all work together because they work together. That we should all work together because they're two different organizations. And now people are like, they do work together. I'm like, that's not what I meant. I know I worded it wrong.
That's
see, it don't matter what you got to watch what you say because people will call you out if you don't word it exactly right. I mean, it's just
to me, that's stupid. They shouldn't do stuff like that. Another thing they need to do is if somebody makes a mistake, like we were talking before, don't go tear somebody down to the ground for just a simple mistake because, we need to stick together because of all these laws and all this crap that's going to trying to do now. And this is just, 2021 just started. Can you imagine what it's going to be like by the end of the year? How many of these laws are trying to get? I mean, this is
and that's what I was talking about with Dave Palumbo. He has a big following on Instagram, over 100,000, big following on YouTube. And I understand his pain. I understand he was frustrated. He shipped some animals out, and some of them were going to Florida. And they were going to sit in there for 4 or 5 days, and then the weekend was coming up, and they wouldn't release them to him. Well, he got on and made a big rant video saying, everybody call FedEx right now and start tearing them down. And finally, with him and Reptiles Express, they got a hold of somebody, high honcho. They talked it out. He says, I don't understand why they wouldn't give it to you. So between Reptile Express talking to him and this, getting the right person, they gave them to him. And then he made a video. He waited to come home to make a video to open the box up to see if his animals were okay. Number one, I would have been looking at them boxes as soon as I was at FedEx.
Yep.
Now you're portraying into the camera like a reaction because he never does an unboxing anyway. So why would you wait till you get it?
I remember that.
But with the whole point to me was what was going on with the banning in New York with shipping in and out. Why would you try to piss FedEx off right now? Because they might say, you know what, screw you. We won't do it no more. That was my whole point. What I mean?
That's a good point because it's not a right for us to ship animals through FedEx. They allow it.
Yes, because if you call them, most of them will tell you we don't ship animals. They don't even know. Half of them don't know they ship animals.
That's why I say build a relationship. Like I ship from a hub, and they all know me. They all know who I am, and they know. They even ask me what animals are in the boxes today, and that's better than trying to hide it. What he did, I mean, he could have hurt other people. Was it wrong what FedEx did? Yes, but he should have handled it behind the scenes.
Yes.
Having people call, FedEx is like, this isn't worth it to us.
No, I mean, if I said that, I don't have a big enough following, it would make him matter. He has, like I said, over 100,000 people on Instagram, a ton on YouTube. That's a big following if everybody called, dude. I mean, that was my whole point, is it all worked out for him in the end, but it could have actually backfired. I'm not saying I understand his passion. He was worried about his animals. And I get that, dude. I honestly get that. But he's big enough known that he knows people that can get a hold of somebody higher in FedEx if they share this problem like they did,
And
that's all I'm getting at.
Well, that's why I work with Reptiles too. Debbie takes care of it for me.
Yeah.
Another thing that gets me is these people, I like Dave Palumbo. I love his channel. I've been following him forever. I follow his fish channel. These people that ship in the wintertime. Now, that anything can happen in the wintertime. I mean, they could ship these animals and get stuck in a snowstorm somewhere and sit for a week. I mean, you got to see this stuff before you start shipping in the wintertime. Because up here, it might be nice now, but I still wouldn't ship until I know it was going to be good weather because we can get snow all the way through May here.
Oh, yeah.
Well, right. And the bad thing is, which is weird that you're in Florida shipping someone to Florida, and it's got to go to Memphis first. Memphis is the worst hub to ship your snake through because I've had snakes coming to me that's been held. Ship them out, gets held. There's something with Memphis, man. They need to get their shit together, dude. I'm telling you.
It's like Memphis is shady.
It is. You can get it good and never have a problem, and then all of a sudden, bang, 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 back to back problems.
Everything's a nightmare. Yeah.
I don't know.
I've seen stuff go to Memphis, leave Memphis, go back to Memphis, and then be like, "Where is it at?" And then it shows up at your door, and you're like, "Well, where'd it go?"
And then try to get your money back for overnight shipping.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's exactly what they say when you call them. They laugh at you like,
I've done it. I've called them. I'm like, "Hey, I want my money back," and they're like, "No, we don't." They used to tell me, I don't know about now. We don't guarantee live arrival for animals. That's what I'm like. This is nothing about live arrival. I'm saying you didn't ship it overnight.
That's why I only ship hub to hub and I only receive hub to hub. Because of to me that's the safest way to do things. And I tell people if you, I don't care if you got to drive an hour to pick it up. What's the cost of the health of your animal?
Yeah,
because I got people that'll drive an hour to pick it up.
All the animals should be hub to hub no matter what. Anyway, they should never go out on the trucks.
Becky will go to the hubs and pick it up if she's like near them for me or something, because it's easier that way. Because I live so far away. By the time it got here anyway, it would be cold.
Right.
Because I live 2 hours from the hubs.
You just got to give them a propane heater in the box.
That's true.
Yeah, Heather's is an hour away, and I've shipped to her before, and she has no problem. And she'll even tell you when I ship, if you have a problem, I won't ship to you. Because, it's because you can't trust, especially now when they give you no live guarantee arrival, you have to ship hub to hub, dude.
I don't know what all you guys are doing anyway. When I used to do venomous, we used to ship same day.
Yeah.
Put it on a plane and got it 6 hours later.
That's good.
Well, I wish it was that easy. Yeah.
Well, it can be if they'll pay a little bit more shipping. It's about
right. You're right.
$140 $140, but
you still
but I mean,
get same day depending upon what it is, and
I ship out of the airport. My local FedEx hub that's close to me is the main airport where FedEx is at, and I can drop off at 9:30 at night. So if I drop off at 9:30 at night, most everybody I know has their snakes by 7 or it's in their hub by 6, 7 in the morning. So it's all they're waiting on is FedEx to open up. So I mean, I try to drop off as late as I can because that's the less that snake is in that box.
Yeah. You live you would go to Tulsa, right? Is that what you do?
Yeah, I go out to the airport where FedEx is at.
Here, the hub. I could take it to the hub, but the hub closes here at like 6 o'clock. So when I would ship stuff out, I would take it to the hub, and then the people would call me complaining, "Well, you dropped it off now, and I'm not getting it until tomorrow at this time." I'm like, "Well, I got to go by the hub rules around here. I can't. I live so far away. I can't go. If I run into any kind of trouble, I have to be there before they close."
Yeah, for sure.
Because there's no international airport here. It's just a regular airport that flies to the international airport or to the bigger places,
Exactly. Well, I mean, if you're ordering, like, say you order something from IRS out of the Netherlands, it's coming straight Delta anyway, right? I mean, everything like that is all Delta anyway. But I do see the price and shipping, what the cost is, the difference in it. It's quite a bit. So
shit, I've been trying to.
The animals even getting a little chilly really doesn't hurt them any. It's when it's sub-zero temperatures or it's 120 degrees is where the problem lies. When it gets really hot, super, super cold.
I hate heat because I can't cool it down. I can't cool nothing down. It's
put an air conditioner in a box.
I thought about it. I thought about inventing something like that.
I use cryopacks.
Cryopack. They stay at a constant like 73 degrees, right? Is that what it does?
Yeah, but I always ship hub to hub when it gets hot like that too, because I hate for I know what hey, your temperature is going to be great at 8 o'clock in the morning or 9, but what if that FedEx driver gets behind and 12 o'clock it's 95 or 100 degrees? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when it's like that, it's like, dude, just go to the hub and pick it up. I shipped some albino garters, checker garters out last year, and that's what I did, because I was nervous. I was nervous as heck shipping them little things out, but they made it great, I mean, I shipped hub to hub. Rob picked some up.
Do you
Granddaddy Herbs? No, my local guy here. He breeds them.
Oh,
And he sexes them. He knows what's are males, females. So
very rarely do we get super hot here unless it's in August. Usually, other than that, it's we're pretty good temperatures except for the middle of the winter. So
yeah, I don't care if you drop his link.
Who's?
Yep, you can freeze them during the hot days, keep them cooler longer. Yep, you're right.
Oh, for sure.
Another thing I would like to, they had this big thing down in Texas, and I don't know how many people know this, but like calcium chloride and water make heat. Just so everybody knows, you can go buy the ice melt, put a little bit in the bottle, like a soda bottle, fill the rest up with water. It'll stay hot for 8 hours at 100 degrees.
Nice.
So you can stick that in between tanks or something.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people did know that. I mean, to be honest with you, I didn't know that until you mentioned it the other day. To be honest with you,
yeah.
I was watching these people talking about how to heat these animals up, and I'm thinking to myself, that's kind of crazy, some of the stuff they were talking about. And I'm like, calcium chloride, water.
Well, a lot of people, I think, Andrew, I know a lot of people don't understand. Texas, their water heaters in their attics, number one.
Yep.
So it's not like where we have water heaters in our garage or on our basement or whatever. No, their water heaters in their attic. They think it's stupid, but it's the way it is. Their houses are made to keep cold in and the heat out.
Out, yep.
So, and the problem was they don't keep fuel gallons outside their house to hold 100 gallons of fuel.
Mm-mm.
These guys had fuel for their generators. The problem was when they run out, there was nowhere to get fuel no more. They were out of gas. There's no gas stations open. They couldn't even go get a drink of water.
No, Madman, what's up? Yeah,
I don't think a lot of people understood.
Welcome.
They're like, why weren't they prepared? You got to understand. There's people that said they haven't seen this since the 1800s, early 1900s. This is not what they go through. It's a whole different animal in Texas. You know what I'm saying? They didn't opt to do the thing with the wind generators to keep them going in the winter.
No, they opted out of that. See?
Yeah, because it don't get cold like that.
No, one thing I'll tell you is I don't care how prepared you are. If a natural disaster happens, you're not prepared. I don't care what any.
For sure. Yeah.
And
everybody
it's not only that
until it happens.
I mean,
and then it's like, yep, you're not.
when there's a natural disaster down here, Texas is the first to lend a hand out to anybody that needs it. Louisiana, they do not have one single snowplow in their whole state. Their roads were not snowplowed because they don't have snowplows.
Yeah.
So, I mean, people don't realize because they don't get this. I mean, once in every 100 years, it's crazy. So people from Arkansas were driving down on clear roads. As soon as they hit Louisiana, they were hitting, their roads are closed. Because they couldn't plow their interstates. I mean, it's crazy,
Maybe they should invest into one plow now, huh?
Yeah, I mean, you think about it, but I mean, they're worried about hurricanes and everything else. But what's weird is it was minus 24 10 days ago here, or a week ago.
Yeah, that is wild.
It was 75 here yesterday. That's a 94-degree difference.
75?
It was 75.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, it was 55.
Negative 24 to 75. I mean, how can you prepare for that?
Last week on Thursday or something like that, I think it was Wednesday or Thursday, it was 55 below zero here. By Monday, it was 50 degrees. That's 105 degrees.
Yes, I mean,
in just a few days.
I was telling you, we had all the water main breaks, and they updated on the news. They said, no, there was, just in Tulsa alone, was over 315 water main breaks in the street. They're still working on water mains. That's just crazy because we're not used to minus 24. Andrew, you know that. You looked up. We're not used to negative 24 degrees. I had a generator. I was lucky. I just bought a brand new one.
The thing with Oklahoma, you get a lot of ice, so.
Yes, we did. That's what happened first. We got the ice.
But
and we had a 30 car pileup over here on the turnpike.
Oh yeah. And
then we had semis burnt down the other day, and then Texas had that one that was over 100 car pileup. It killed people. I don't know if y'all seen that video. If you haven't,
Yes, I
Look
have.
up on YouTube. The FedEx truck was rolling about 70. And
Right
he
over
just
top.
smashed. I mean, it's just heartbreaking. What I mean, like, oh man,
For sure, yeah.
No, it was bad.
My brother just missed that accident down there because his daughter lives down. My niece lives down there, and right as it happened, he texted me. He says, "Oh, this truck just ran over a bunch of stuff." You know, my brother's a Philadelphia firefighter, and he got his camera out and he was filming. He's like, "You would not believe how unprepared this is down here for weather like this."
Well, I mean, I know there was a bunch of people there in Oklahoma and stuff. They were loading pallets of water and stuff like that to go to Texas because that's more important to them right now. And I'm not saying that, than animals, because Corey Martin, she lost some animals. And I know the guy that runs the shows down there, I can't remember his name.
Sean Gray.
He lost some of his like prized possession, like these certain type of lizards that he'd been a 7-year project he'd been working on. They all died.
Yeah. Jesus.
And you could see it's heartfelt. But I mean, like you said, it's not that we weren't prepared, but how can you, once you run out of fuel, there was no more fuel to get.
Crazy. They weren't prepared for, crazy. It's like, it's insane.
Well, like Gary said, they went a whole week without water, and then now they're going to go a whole another week without water. These animals, there's going to be animals die from just the lack of water. So
yeah, Sean Gray.
I don't know I don't know if they ever found that missing woman in that car crash.
No,
it's a crazy time. That's what I got upset about that is they were all worried about the people's animals, which is okay, but I mean, regular life wasn't being. I mean, they needed water, they needed help. Not here's money or here's snakes. We got you snakes. They don't need that right now.
Being fairly local to Texas, where we're at anyway, I mean, people don't. There's people they have found in their homes that froze to death, and died. Y'all want to talk about animals, but we're talking about people that lost their life because they froze in their house.
I think 30 people, right?
Yes, or there's people
that's crazy.
That like a mom and her kids went out to get warm in the car and didn't even think about it, and they died from CO2 from the car exhaust. I mean, these people were sleeping in their cars for 4, 5, 6 days to stay warm. I mean, it's more than animals. And I'm not saying screw the animals because I love them as much, but there's people that were just literally losing their life because they froze in their house. I mean, it's terrible.
I just found that crazy because I know up here there's people who've lost electric for for a week and haven't froze to death, and that's because the houses are made different. I guess they keep the heat in.
Yeah.
And up here, I'd say maybe 2 or 3 people a year freeze to death, but they're usually older people that decide, well, my car broke down. I'm walking at 10 miles. Who cares? 50 below zero,
Yeah, and so, I mean, and I mean, we all care about, but I mean, I told people if they needed somewhere to keep their animals warm, I had a generator, but I mean, it was, I was running plugs for my rats to stay warm out in my garage, I mean, that was.
Did you lose power, Chris?
Yes, I did. They started doing rolling blackouts there.
Yeah.
Doing rolling blackouts, so I was prepared, and luckily I have a gas heater too as a backup. I mean, I have central heat and air, but so the gas heat would kind of heat the house, but I run the generator for the rats, the snake room, of course, coffee maker and TV. You got to have that, So, but I mean,
they were doing rolling blackouts up here, and I think that's what happened with Dave Kaufman's collection. They did a rolling blackout and they froze in the middle of the night,
Yeah, and that's what they were doing. They started doing that pretty early here, and they told you that we're going to be doing it periodically, and so I was prepared for it, I mean, like I said, I had a generator, but I mean, I could have brought people's animals in here, and I could have took a chance of having mites, and I could have fixed it if I got them. But what if I brought somebody's animals in here and they had Nido and I lost my whole collection? Is somebody going to pay for my animals?
Yeah, that's what Gary was talking about. We were talking about that on a radio show, I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's just What would have happened to that Chris guy? This is what would have happened. If he would have took someone's animals in and his whole collection died, the whole community would say, you should have took him in. We're not doing nothing for you. You should have been smart.
Yeah.
You should have been smart. Then he said, I'm not going to put him in. Is the way he posted it? Yes. He does seem like an arrogant ass. And I'll tell him that to his face. He does seem like it, but I still understand what he meant.
That's a given.
And we're all smart enough to understand. He was just saying is I have to take care of my collection. It's not small and it's not cheap. I can't risk my collection and I have all this involved, my time, my money, and everything into it for someone to bring in 10 ball pythons and kill everything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say the same thing. If someone called me up and we had rolling blackouts here, we had power outage here, and they said, Gary, you have power, I need to bring my animals, I'd find a way. They're not entering my gecko room. I have too much money and too much time. Now, could they sit upstairs? Maybe, sure. But if it goes, well, your gecko rooms, I don't care. Do you have $200,000 wrapped up in your stuff? I do.
Right.
And I got my years. So
I think it was a post. I honestly believe he was talking to somebody through a text or a post.
It was.
And the guy screenshotted it and started it. And of course, that's where it should have stopped.
Yep.
Not with him making 2 more posts after that, making himself look worse. And the guy, he has an amazing animals because Billy from Education Creation was going to buy snakes off of him. Billy ain't got no slack in there. So if Billy's buying snakes off of him, or wanted to, the guy has some amazing animals. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
yeah, for sure.
I just understood. Now the same thing with the 3 guys. Like the most disappointing one was Brian Cusco. He is the most disappointing one to me, because he's got names that back him up, like Brandon, and I seen when he demanded money. I was like, whoa, and then his language and putting this guy down. I was like, okay, you're no better than he is now. That's the way I was thinking. You're no better than he is.
Yeah, but he did make a video the next day after he'd done, and he's, I will give him that. He goes, I caught a lot of heat for that. He goes, I wasn't saying that was the solution. I was just saying that might be a good start to help back donating some money if you had that kind of money, because I'm sure Chris has some money, but I think, I think he was pretty much saying, I wish I wouldn't have even come on that day. You know what I'm saying?
Here's what I've been getting. A lot of people have been messaging me about it and all, and they said that it was disappointing when he said $10,000 as a start, and then the next day he did that video, and then they're like, well, he's getting slack from it, so maybe they feel he's just doing that video to try to make it like, I feel sorry I did that. And he got caught up in the moment also. So he kind of knows what it's like to get caught up in the moment.
That's it. You got to watch what you say, because it can come back and get you. And it can be a never ending thing,
Here's how I live my life. I'm not saying I don't care about you guys, but I don't care what you do in your personal life. I'm not going to let that affect me. I'm going to live my life.
Yes.
And Brian should have done that. Like,
real quick, I'll be right back.
Oh, cool. Like Brian Barczyk, I don't agree with everything he does in his catchphrases and his clickbait and all this. I don't agree with it, but I understand why he does it. So I just let it go with it. And if someone's doing something bad, guess what? I'm just not going to deal with them anymore.
But is it really clickbait? Because if he says, hey,
he rides the line.
He rides it, because he'll say, hey, Lori's leaving me. Is she going to come back? But yeah, she left to go on vacation and come back. So it's a clickbait, but he still kind of puts it in his videos where, he's not like saying, hey, I got this, and then there's nothing even in the video.
I'll say what
kind of clickbaity though,
I'll say what I mean, because I'll tell him this to his face if he ever called me again. Michigan had a big law going to go against, large snakes and monitors.
Yes.
The very next day he put up, my anaconda attacked me.
Yeah,
It didn't attack him. It tried to bite him. It didn't attack him. Or how about the bloody blood of a snake biting him and just giving that up? That is what these people are going to use against us to get not against us because we're educated, but to get support saying, Look what this guy's got. He's got an anaconda that attacks people.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's going to be like, well, watch the video. They don't need to. It says it. It's right there. And that's
what they look at. You're right. That just gives them fuel. And you know,
I think it's, it's hard.
It is because he's, I mean, I see what he's doing, and he's trying to,
if he was on
hey,
fire.
bring people in to hold these animals they've never held.
I
But he's
saw that
talking
too.
about this 3.0, making this aquatic deal where you can go swim with the crocodiles or swim with this. That's a bad idea, dude. I'm telling you, you're going to get somebody in there that's going to get fucking bit or killed.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, he wants to swim with salt and pepper, his alligators, and these. What happens if one of them things just says, hey, I'm having a bad day because it's an animal?
Mm-hmm.
Well, now this is what I'm going to tell you what I know of Brian personally.
I mean,
Brian dreams big. Brian
yes, he does.
And Lori brings him back down to earth. Okay. But is he going to do the salt and pepper thing, swim with him? Probably not. Probably not. Just like he says that he's going to get venomous and he hasn't done it yet. And the reason is it's the liability thing. Could Brian keep venomous? I'm for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But it's the liability thing and having venomous there. That's why I think it's not. Because he went out and got a sloth. It would be easier for this guy to go get some cobras than that sloth.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And now the 3.0. Here's my view on it. He left snake bites because of what it was. He left snake bites. And now he called it animal bites. You can look it up on YouTube. Right. It's still there. There's a lot of content on there that he grew from. But it's still there. But he grew from it. And he doesn't do that anymore. Like making snakes bite, hitting the arm, making it bite you and stuff like that. He doesn't do that anymore. But there still are two parts of Brian. There's the Brian BHB, and then there's the Brian the Reptarium. The Reptarium is amazing. I honestly feel the Reptarium is awesome. But now I also feel that Brian needs to, I think he's at the level of popularity that he could lose the clickbait and still be fine. But the clickbait ones get more views. And he makes a lot of money off YouTube.
I'll tell you,
for sure.
I'm going to tell you something else I noticed about him. Now, I'm not saying the guy's animals, there's anything wrong with them, but did you ever watch him try to feed, like the retic, a giant pig?
Yeah,
that
happens.
It is that stupid shit all the time, like that turkey.
And it doesn't eat it, can't eat it.
Yeah, he tried to do a turkey one time and it couldn't do it. Yeah,
the 30-pound turkey.
He did the turkey, and then he did the pig before it came over. He had Chewy brought that pig in when it was still over in the, before they had the Reptarium, and I looked at that pig. I said, that's too big. It ain't never going to eat that. Well, 6 hours later, it was still trying to eat it. And I'm like, that is not good for that snake to be fighting food like that.
That turkey, he said that turkey was like, 12, 18 hours and it didn't eat it. And then this year, he's like, my anaconda ate it finally. But it struggled too. But I mean, that of course, your anaconda's bigger than that retic as girth-wise, but that's just stressful on an animal to try to eat something for 12 hours and can't eat it and then just say, screw it. And all you're going to get is a bunch of feathers and poop when it's done anyway. It ain't even going to do, I mean.
To be honest with you, when I first got in a long time ago, the guy that was like my mentor, he's passed away now. His theory, always with feeding any kind of snake or anything like that, is you should never truly see a lump in the animal. It should be, if you do see a lump, it should be minimal.
Yeah.
And if you have to feed more, you feed it twice a week instead of once a week if you think it needs more. But never feed it something where it has to struggle to get it down.
Well, Brian's done a lot of really bad stuff, and he'll be the first to tell you that. And like I said, I don't talk to the guy. I haven't talked to him since 2014. So I haven't talked to him since maybe 2015. But the reason he does all this, and I already know, I don't need to talk to him. He does daily YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
He needs content.
Daily.
He needs content, and he's thinking and he's breaking his brain, saying, "What kind of content can I get?" Because if you look at his YouTube, there's ones that get 40,000 views, and he's got 2.4 million
subscribers. Almost 3 million.
Yeah,
3 million.
And then he's get some that get like 150,000 views the first day. So he's looking at it as a business. He's like, these are getting the views. I need to get this, and it's a business. He makes a lot of money. I guarantee. I'm almost ready to put this out there that he probably makes more money on YouTube than he does BHB.
Well, he had to hire somebody to come and do all his editing and stuff. That's how big it's. He's had an editor since Snake Bites. Yeah, but he got a new one now. See, then he stopped having that guy. And then
he's probably on his 3rd or 4th editor and camera guy.
But plus, once you're going on there and you're making a 1 or 2 minute commercial promoting, earbuds or Dollar Shave Club, that sponsorship's paying him some good money for him to sit on there and say that's where he's making some good money.
Yep. I do, what happened to like Eric and them? I've noticed
he went and did his own thing, man.
Oh, did he really? Because I was gonna say I noticed he'll have people on there because I don't watch him that much, but he'll have somebody on there, and then so they're gone, and then there's someone else.
I don't want to
even do. Eric's not even on there right now.
I don't want to speak for for all the people, but from Snake Bites on, he's had some bad relationships with employees stealing from him.
Yeah.
So there's some stealing from him, and he got rid of those. Some people just got tired of whatever they had problem with Brian. Some left on good terms, some left on bad terms. But let's be honest, he's not paying them $20 an hour. So they're stopgap jobs. They're stopgap jobs. He's paying someone $10 an hour or whatever. I don't want to say what they're getting. I don't know. To work with an animal. 20.
It ain't 20 for sure.
Yeah, it's not $20 an hour. It's not a career.
It's like working in a zoo. You don't get paid a lot of money.
Exactly. And I can't blame. See, that's another thing. I can't blame him for the geckos not being bred right and the genetics not being tried because it's not him. He literally is just the man that's paying for the stuff and having other people do it for him now because he can't do it all.
Okay, I didn't know that. That's why I was asking. Yeah. I wasn't sure.
Yeah. Eric was doing videos there for a while. Because this is my problem is I know Brian before Snake Bites. I knew him before all that. I knew when he was talking about doing it. He was like, "Yeah, I got this idea."
Casino's got my money.
And and people say that Brian keeps his animals wrong, and that Brian does things wrong. I'm going to tell you guys this right now. Every single large breeder kept just like Brian did. The difference was Brian had a YouTube channel.
Yes,
that was it.
And I think there's shit Brian could do though to change some of that attitude though. When he's opening up bins and there's a snake skin in a water bowl with like dried white lines in it, regardless if it's a clubrit and it's in hibernation and shit, he probably should just take that water bowl out when he did the video. He would save himself so much more drama.
But the thing is I don't know if you know how large his collection used to be. It's large now.
Yeah.
He had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 employees that were running it in Lori. So he had to depend on them people because when he was doing the YouTube, or what he still is, that was his thing. He was like, that's all he did. So he was depending on these people, and then he would get Brian's very, and he'll tell you this. I'm not even being mean. He's very jumpy. He's like, look, we got an idea. Let's go do it. Yeah. So he doesn't think.
Oh, you can tell that he's very spontaneous. Yeah.
Yeah. He'll be filming. He'll open it. And I'll put it like this. If you're used to seeing it, it's not, you're used to it. So if you're not used to seeing it, so let's say I run a Walmart because I used to. I go to that Walmart every day and I see these issues, but I start getting used to the issues. I might see end caps empty here and there. But now if I go to someone else's Walmart, it's new to me and I can point out everything they're doing wrong. But I can't do it in my own store because I'm seeing it every day.
Right.
I understand.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
And so he was getting used to that. Brian has more passion to do with animals, and this should mean more coming from me because he hates my guts. He literally hates me. He will not return my texts, phone calls, nothing. But the man has passion for animals like I've seen nobody else. He truly he's in awe of every animal he comes across.
Yeah, no, I don't think he does anything to ever harm an animal. I don't think he does anything deliberately to, like he was saying about the water bottles and all. And I think if he was thinking under different level, he might notice stuff like that, but he would never do anything deliberately to hurt another.
Yeah, because I tell people, if you have 5% of what Brian has, 5%, I guarantee if I didn't tell you when I was coming over and I came over, I could find a problem. I guarantee it.
Yeah, but no. I understand all of that. But my point is, if you're the one editing the videos, you're the one making the videos, you can take 10 seconds to change that water bowl or put fresh water in it. If you're a YouTuber and it is your job and you're the one editing it, you can take 10 seconds to put a clean water bowl in there.
Then
I'm just saying, on any scale, little YouTuber or a big YouTuber, it's the same thing. I tell people the same thing.
I agree with you to a point, but Brian was showing what was real. He was like, this is what it is.
Yeah, but that's scary, though. When you got a water bowl that you can see the white lines that the water has evaporated in the bowl, to me, that is worse than anything.
Yeah, because
I can honestly tell you, I have water bowls that have lines in them, and it doesn't matter how much you scrub them. Them lines are not coming out of there.
He's using plastic water bowls like all of us. Throw it away. And
put the reusable ones. Yeah, I wasn't.
Because
that's what I'm. Yeah, it's not a permanent bowl. He's using the throwaways just like all of us.
Because if you take what Brian did, like Brian would have like his thermostats all set up to message his phone. He did that 15 years ago. And I mean, his ball python room, there is no possible way, even myself or just Brian, could take care of everyone in them ball pythons. There's none. I
understand all of that.
Now I think
they're throwing out videos. It's your responsibility if you're going to get the negativeness because you could have fixed it.
For the water bowls, I get that, but I'm saying as overall. It's just.
I mean, that's the kind of shit that people lash at him about.
I don't even think the water bowls was it. I think it's a rack system, period, or the monitors in the rack system, or the bearded dragons. Because not many people know bearded dragons back in the day were said they don't need UVB. People bred them in racks. That's what they did.
Or you know what? Another big thing people used to complain about is a 150-pound African rock python in a rack. And
but
that's you open it up and it's the whole snake fills the whole tub,
And I used to defend him on that. I was like, I get that he has these snakes in these racks, and I don't agree with it. I wouldn't do it personally, but 90% of people complaining if they had retics would be in a smaller cage than it needed to be in.
Oh yeah, I agree. Yeah. No, I agree with that. I'm not
just like the U.S. Ark thing today. Everyone posting it if they got a badge. Not all of them even joined.
No,
I know for a fact.
That was very disappointing to hear. Yes.
So I mean, we should be seeing. Phil should be posting on. Whoa, we are seeing a huge amount of influx, and we're not. But
he should go through the Instagram post and make a comment. Check, he did.
Yeah,
no, you didn't.
Instagram is that's all. Yeah, it's all full of 2 days. For 2 days, that's all I seen was U.S. Ark, U.S. Ark, U.S. Ark.
And that's all I've seen. Yeah.
And another thing bad about Facebook is once you make a video, you could be picked apart.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
No matter what it is, you could be picked apart. I mean, I get people, I breed in racks. I'm a gecko breeder. I breed in racks. I guarantee if I made a YouTube video, they're going to be like, oh, you breed in racks. You want to know how much my geckos are going to be if I took all 600 breeders and put them in nice 30-gallon tanks and all this other stuff? My geckos are healthy. Would they be better off?
Not even in the room.
Probably. But my geckos are healthy.
The dog's out.
I only breed females for 6 years. 6 years. I'm done.
I just put them there.
What it is we're seeing a movement from racks to cages.
Oh, for sure.
But here's my big thing. Aquariums are meant for fish.
I just did it 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are for sure.
Aquariums weren't meant for reptiles. Ball pythons do better.
Grandma, everybody.
Hey. And Brian Barczyk gets a lot of heat for good stuff that he does. He does mess up.
Yeah.
But he's not this total devil that some people make him out to be.
I think a lot of that. I think even on the flip side of the coin, I think he lets a lot of that shit go on purpose just to keep that side of the coin spicy. I really do.
Probably.
I could tell you.
Just because he has the choice to eliminate any of that negativity before he lets it go to the public. So I think he kind of purposely does some of that. I think it's kind of like the thumbnails, I guess.
Yeah.
I could tell you some of the biggest, most well-respected individuals in the hobby. Some of the ones that are really outspoken right now that are like, people think they're like the best things that's ever happened to the hobby, have had some traumatic things happen to their in the past that you would be like, what in the heck? I'm not going to mention any names, but I do know a breeder who had a whole room of blood pythons pass, a whole room. Ooh. And they didn't even take them out of the cages. And when they did get in there and people did get pictures of this, they were like, you'd open up a cage, there's just maggots pouring out of the cage. And it was just one whole room of blood pythons like that. You know, I'm sure you know who I'm talking about, Gary. It was huge news back in the day. But you know what? They've all had their issues.
Social media has made it where everyone's problems can be seen.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
YouTube has made it that way too. And I honestly wish Brian Barczyk would ring me up and say, hey, dude, let's crush it. And I would tell everyone the same thing. And I would speak about him the same way. I would tell him right to his face, guess what? I don't agree with that, dude. You just messed up. Mm-hmm. But I guarantee my friends hate some stuff I do. Just me and Mickey were disagreeing. Mickey is a good friend of mine. He runs the Show Me shows. I didn't agree with something he said. I didn't agree with it at all. But we're talking today. We're still talking.
Yeah.
And it's just Kevin McCurley. He just said something on a Facebook post about Brian because they posted up a video that Brian said he needs $500,000. I guess. Quick, he needs $500,000, and I guarantee it has Brian Barczyk. But I guarantee I haven't even watched the video. But I guarantee what it is he's talking about Reptile 3.0 and he's not asking for money. I guarantee he's not asking people for money. I almost guarantee it. If I'm wrong,
well, he might. When he did the first Reptarium, he did. He asked for $500 donation.
I don't watch the videos, but I did watch that one today because I was like, is he asking for money or what's happening? Because it caught my eye. And all he was saying is he's wanting to do this 3.0, and he's talking about how he's going to bust all the concrete out the bottom, and he's trying to get an estimate. And he's figuring in his mind it's going to be around $500,000 what he needs to do.
Lori's going to kill him.
And so he went to Lori, and he goes, hey. So he did. And he asked her, he goes, hey, we've talked about this. And he goes, yeah. He goes, and you're the financial. And he said, you're the financial part of it. Because she makes, she does that shit. And he goes, have you got a price in mind what you think this is going to cost us, And she said, it's everything, and we haven't got quotes back about what this, because I really don't. And he goes, well, let me throw a number out at you. And he goes, I'm thinking half, 500,000, $500,000. She goes, no. He's like, no. She's like, you're crazy. He's like, what? His face like, what? She's like, no. That's ridiculous, And and that's what he was saying. He don't even know what it's going to cost yet, because he haven't even got quotes. He's just thinking in his mind, it's 500,000,
And I would love the day for him to stop breeding on a commercial level and go into education and the Reptarium. If Brian has a personality that just draws you to him, and I hate to put this, someone's going to yell at me. He's almost got that Steve Irwin type personality that just like you got to watch him.
Yeah, but there was a lot of talk back then that and that's what he was. Well, he said on a couple of videos that he was afraid of was people was trying to put him in the position of being like a Steve Irwin.
Yeah, and I don't want to say he just has that personality, and I know that he did the TV series, and his whole talk the whole time before he was on a network, before Venom Hunters and stuff, is he wanted to be on TV. He was talking with a lot of networks. He was talking with a lot of networks about snake bites, okay? And that was his dream, to get on a network. And he just wanted to share the hobby. That's all he wanted to do. And I think it's turned now that, he's got YouTube. I think he's finally figured out he doesn't need a network. And
oh, for sure.
And he does bring a lot of people into the hobby. He does bring a lot of light to the hobby, because that clickbait is nasty stuff. Some of the clickbait he does is nasty. It's like puts us in a bad light. But the people that watch the video, he doesn't do that in the videos anymore. He doesn't allow the snakes to bite his arm and blood run down. If he gets bit, I think I seen him get bit, and he was like, "Oh yeah, it didn't hurt. It wasn't that big a deal," you know. He worked with I think he has a Black Nile monitor. I thought
he's got a black throat monitor.
Oh,
for sure, he just got, and he does have a black dragon.
Yeah,
you know, monitor, a crop monitor too, and stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, I honestly feel that he would be a really good person for that. Now, I know that some of the big people that have reptile zoos don't like him, and there's a good reason for it. There is. But I'm also one that
one's over there in the Dakotas, ain't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Terry and I go back. Terry's good people. I love Terry.
Terry's great people.
I just love Terry. I contacted Terry about me starting a reptile zoo type thing here, and he opened up and he says, anything you need. I'm an open book. But he did tell me, he goes, I'm black and white. I don't have a lot of gray area. And I'm like, well, I know that about you. And did you get the hunting dog yet? Oh, must be talking to another Gary. I was like, I don't have a hunting dog. I don't hunt. I'm a big I use cameras, guys, to shoot. But Brian Barczyk, it's a really hurt thing for me because I mean the potential he has to be bigger than he is there. It is. He could be bigger than he is. There's another person that I see on YouTube. He just got 1,000 subscribers. He's really good with the editing part and the acting part and stuff, but he's going down the wrong road with other stuff. And you know what I'm talking about. And I keep telling him this. I'm like, you have talent, but you're going down the wrong roads. And
see, now this Denton guy, nobody said Brian doesn't. He's absolutely is amazing, and he is good for the hobby, and he absolutely does love his animals. Nobody said he, No. Nobody was saying that he didn't.
And anybody,
for sure.
Said,
and everybody
and Gary probably knows him better than anybody that's in here, because he used to go to his house and hang out with Brian all the time.
No, like what I'm trying to tell you is, you say he's absolutely amazing, and I'm agreeing with you. Okay, the problem is a friend is going to tell you when you mess up before the public. Okay, or I'm not your friend. You see what I'm getting at? And I expect Andrew, if I mess up, I should get a message from Andrew. Gary, shut the hell up. Now, Brian has made mistakes, and Brian will tell you he's made mistakes, and he's changing. Like I said, the Reptarium is an awesome thing. He's made a lot of mistakes, and he's put a lot of bad light on a lot of bad things, and he's fixed that. He's working towards fixing more stuff. Nobody in the hobby is clean. We've all done some stupid stuff.
Of course.
Like I said, I was sitting on the couch in BHB
real quick,
talking about snake bites before snake bites was even a thing. And I got this idea. And that's Brian. Brian probably got ideas that no one knows about. He's thinking of Reptarium 2 or 3.0. He's probably thinking of getting different animals.
Probably, yeah, but even more shit outside of even reptiles, like that weird cup thing that he invented and shit. That guy's got weird shit, ideas for all kinds of crap.
Brian.
Oh, yeah.
And Brian
remember
has
the
a
cup
big heart.
thing? That was crazy as shit. I was like, are you serious?
Brian's also got a big heart. He's got a really big heart.
Game, right?
I think that's
10 cups.
Yep.
I think that's why Brian's got mad at me, is because he got a big heart and he expected me just to be on his side no matter what. And that's not true all the time. It's like everyone says I put him down. I don't put Brian down. Brian's is amazing. And it's just, he does make mistakes. But I did say this on a live the other day. Just because I don't agree with him doesn't mean he has to agree with me either. It don't mean that he has to think my way. Now, would I do things his way, knowing I would get his success? No. I never, if you could talk to people that did my YouTube back in 2006 to 2009, They will tell you Gary never did this. Gary, it was always straightforward. 400,000 members strong watching me. That's what I did. And I would tell people, I'm sorry if the snake bites me. It's a biter. I'm sorry. This was before lives, everything. And that's what I did.
Right.
I wouldn't give that up to get 2.9 million subscribers and millions of dollars. I would rather do it the way I want to do it. Brian's made his choice. It's not, maybe it's not wrong. Maybe it's right. I don't know. I just wouldn't do it.
Right.
I wouldn't do what Brian Cusco did the other day. And I looked up, I would let my daughter watch Brian Cusco's videos any day. Like my 10-year-old daughter. And then he did that. Come on. Brian's better than that. Out of the other guys, the Freedom, I could care less. You know, and the other guy, I have no clue who he is. The one that hurt the most was Brian Cusco because he has ties with Brandon. I got ties with Brandon. It just really, really sucked for that moment. And to tell you guys the truth, most of it, I hate saying this, but most of the people that aren't in the breeding game don't know. We all kind of talk anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, when we see each other at shows, I guarantee if I seen Brian at a show, he would say hi to me then. I would stick my hand out and he'd probably shake my hand. But
yeah, but he doesn't go to shows no more.
No, he does. He shows up to shows.
Oh, does he?
Yeah,
he goes to Tinley and stuff like that.
Yeah. He does. To give you a story about Brian Barczyk, back in 2009, my YouTube was huge at the time, and I used to go to reptile shows and people would ask for my autograph. Okay, and Brian and I were walking around the show, and we made a gentleman's bet. Just to say, hey, who's going to get more autographs today? Because he just started snake bites. Someone asked for my autograph in front of Brian, didn't ask for his. But no, I think he beat me though, because snake bites was just starting to really button. You know, Brian had his camera gear there, and people were, you know, seeing him. And then they were dunking Chewy. Chewy wouldn't let me stand at the line. If you can ever find the original snake bites, the guy that was like in the hallway, that was me throwing and trying to dunk Chewy. I even had videos up of that show and me going up, and I'm doing my videotaping. And then I go up to Brian and I start shaking the camera going, oh my God, it's Brian Barczyk. And he's just like, whatever, dude. And that's what we used to do. We used to have fun. And I don't know. I just don't know. It's different today. It's just different. And I think social media is what killed it.
So here's my question for you guys. Do you think Brian's going to eventually slowly move away from the breeding aspect and go strictly to zoo?
Yes, he was talking about
everything into a zoo.
He'll never get out of it 100%, but he'll.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think he will. I think he'll always keep the
not 100%, but he'll downsize for sure.
When you hear him talk, he's like, you know, I lost passion when you come down here and see these animals in these tubs compared to up there in the zoo. You know,
he likes.
I remember he said that a couple times. Yeah.
I honestly, and in my opinion, and if he sees this, great. If he doesn't, great. If someone tells him, awesome. I think he'd be better off building that Reptile 3.0. Lori let him go and get rid of BHB, the large scale, and put it all in the Reptarium.
Mm-hmm.
Because Brian can educate people.
Yeah,
Brian knows his stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you look at his videos, he's constantly doing unboxing.
He's going to keep it going.
Unboxing for snakes because he can't keep enough in to sell them anyway. So
he's always done that. He's always done that.
Yeah, but I mean, he's constantly getting snakes. So I mean, you can downsize and still sell if you wanted to. You know what I mean?
Brian.
I think if there's money in it, he'll do it.
Now, did you notice, Gary, that they don't call him a flipper like they would you back in the day?
I brought this up, and Brian actually defended me back in the day because they used to call me a flipper, and I was a piece of garbage, remember? And I said, Brian Barczyk himself buys animals all the time. He gets by the thousands and sells them as his own. And I was told by Larry and BT, well, he's allowed.
Yeah. See how that worked?
And the reason is Brian Barczyk would have crushed them if Brian Barczyk would have just screw you guys or that. And Brian Barczyk stuck up for me back then, and I was like, guys, I do sell this, but ball python. Did mention he wants to get out of the selling sides, and he does. I think he enjoys the interaction with people. Brian is a people person.
Yes,
I
for
guarantee this shutdown is probably tearing that guy in half.
For sure.
Because Brian does have an anxiety issue, a big one. It's really, really bad. So I guarantee this is really hurting him on that point. He's a people person all the way. It's just, I wish the people that seen him from 12 years ago, judging off that, would say, hey, let's open up the eyes and let's watch him now. And because the actual videos, other than the screenshots and the titles, his videos are usually pretty good. And he got a freaking sloth. When the hell did he get a sloth?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. He's got a sloth, so I mean, that's got to be saying something.
I mean, how the hell? Because that's what I'm sitting there saying. I'm like, he could get venomous, but I guarantee Lori's keeping him in check. It's saying, hey, it's not the insurance. A sloth's not something. I mean, I've never seen a sloth for sale. How the hell do you get a sloth? I mean, seriously.
He went to Florida and bought it.
You go to them.
He sent her down to look at it. In fact, she's the one that got to go look at it, and she fell in love with it. So that's how they got that.
He got Lori to get. Oh, there's. Wow, because.
But he said he's been researching it for about a year or so before he even considered it, and they had found one, and she was going to Florida, and she actually got to go hang out with it, and then as soon as she hung out with it with the owner, man, it was just. It was locked in. Then,
Lori is the rational one of the two. Brian's just like, let's go.
Well, that's like their Savannah monitor he got that didn't make it.
I felt really bad about that.
I was like $25,000 for one animal. You know what kind of collection of everything I could have for $25,000?
Well, I mean, that's not. I don't know what he spent on the Viper ball, but the Viper ball was up there, and that didn't prove out either.
No.
Well, the sunset.
Yeah, the sun. Well, funny story about the sunset. The sunset he didn't think proved out, and then eventually it did.
Yeah.
But it got stolen from him, didn't it? Some employees stole from him or something.
Yes. Well, the employee stole a lot more than just that.
Yeah. Right.
That employee stole. It's. Did he ever say what employee it was? Because I know what employee it was.
He talked about it on his podcast. He never mentioned names, which I think
that's the way we keep it.
Yeah, because I think that sometimes that's a good thing. And he says I could call you out, but he says, you know what? I'm better.
He's got an obsession with the two-headed animals.
I can give you a little bit of story without saying names. I had a connection with this person, and he called me to ask me if I bought any animals. And I'm like, no, I don't have any animals. But this person's throwing around money like there's no tomorrow. Why? What's up? Then he told me. And I said, you tell me what you need me to do. I mean, literally, he called me and says, Gary, I just need to talk to you, man. And I'm like, why? What's up? He goes, you buy any animals lately? I'm like, well, I buy animals all the time. What animals you look for? And he goes, no, did you buy any like real high-end ball pythons? I'm like, no. Why? He told me. I'm like, wait, what?
But I think that did good for a lot of breeders though, because like Mike Wilbanks is in Oklahoma City down from me, and he's putting in 2 more walk-in incubators this year, and he has cameras in his incubators. He says, I have employees, and I think with and when Brian's like, that's pretty smart, and Brian was probably saying, man, I wish I would have had cameras not only in my facility, but I think that's where it comes from, because people, what easy way to steal something is a baby snake or an egg or anything.
Well, something that might not be totally known about Brian, back in the day, I don't know if he does it now. He didn't incubate the eggs at facility. He took them home.
He still does.
He took them home.
He still does.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's just you have to be that way. I mean, Mike Wilbanks has 4,000 ball pythons. You got to have cameras.
Yes, you do.
I mean,
see, I don't care what the person does stealing from them. Stealing. Brian Barczyk worked hard for his collection, and he's had a lot of misses too. I mean, until the pinstripe, the guy was swinging and missing a lot of things. And I watched that. He put out a video of the ball pythons, how the ball pythons came about. Because, guys, back in the Columbus show days, Brian Barczyk was laughed at for breeding ball pythons.
Mm-hmm. Well, you see, Bob Clark had all his albino ball pythons stolen from him way back when he was the only one that had albinos. Now, a guy named Miller, I can't remember what his first name was, Miller, stole them and started breeding them and producing them all. And they finally caught him, and the guy had to pay like $2.2 million to Bob Clark in restitution for those ball pythons. I mean, that was crazy.
Damn.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the sunset was a big deal. Brian's sunset project was really good. I remember the Viper ball. He took me over and he goes, because there was a big deal with another breeder in the Viper ball. It was a really big deal. And I was like, well, what's going on with the Viper ball, dude? Because it was like all three of us knew each other. And he goes, you want to see it? It didn't prove out. And he hands me this adult male Viper ball. I'm like, this is the coolest freaking snake I've ever seen. And he goes, yeah, but it's nothing. It's proved out to be nothing. And the problem was the other breeder didn't believe him. He thought he was blackballing him from it. And that Viper ball was a pretty cool snake. And then he had the sunset female. I think it was a female. The original sunset was a female. Yeah. Then of course I was there when Josh was there from Star Pythons. So Josh worked there. I held the very first scaleless ball python. Yeah. We were so it tells you when I was still friends and we were still friends. The scaleless was different. It was just a different animal. And that weekend Brian wasn't there. I went up there. I forget the reason I went up there. Maybe it was to take Laura and the kids up there. Sam was still there. Josh was there, and I had run a whole facility. This is what it was. We just ran the whole. Brian wasn't even there. And then I went there. We played with the alligators. Someone from down in Mexico was up there, and I gave him a tour of the facility. I think Lori might have been there, but she was working in Columbus. She told me I couldn't bother her, but we held the crib, and we just had fun. The tortoise that he has now used to run around in that facility. Loose. Right. It was just that's what it was.
Yeah. Speedy or something like that.
Yep.
Damn thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I mean, he does care about his animals, and everyone's like brings up mites and stuff. When you have a collection that big and you're bringing it, it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen, you know.
For sure. You have to bring animals in to fulfill all your orders.
You ready for this? When Brian first got into leopard geckos, okay, when he first got into them, he bought a wall, and this guy bought thousands. He didn't label them, and I had to go tell him what they were. And I said, I wouldn't breed these. I can't tell you what the hets are, but I can tell you what they are visually, sorta, you know? So I did my best, and I went through and labeled stuff like super hypotangerine carrot tails and stuff like this. Now, I'm not going to say where he got the animals. I know exactly where he got the animals. But I went up there, and I don't know if he didn't label them because of he forgot or if the person just didn't label them when he got them. But he had some, since I knew where he got them, it was easier for me to label them, if it makes sense. Because I knew the person's collection. Right. And I knew the person wouldn't be mixing Bell and Tremper and stuff like that. I knew that for a fact. So Brian's got some amazing stuff he doesn't even post on leopard geckos. I know he's got it sitting there. He's a snow guy. He likes super snows. He really likes super snows. But yeah, it's just it's different now that I knew Brian before he had tattoos. Let's just go there.
Yeah, exactly.
You talk about the pythons not proving out and spending a lot of money on stuff. Talk to David and Tracy Barker once.
Yep.
They had stuff that you would not believe, and none of it proved out. It's like, it's amazing.
And Kevin McCurley's done it.
Like a ruby. It was like a ruby red color, and it did nothing.
You got Barker's did it. The McCurley's done it. Kathy Love's done it.
Another one.
This happens, you know.
I mean, when you're importing animals, you don't know what it's going to be. You're taking a chance. It's a lotto. Everyone should know this. The pinstripe is Brian's golden egg.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
sure.
I think out of the spider and the pinstripe's the best of the two.
Yep.
Yeah, I do. I think pinstripe
cool.
does a lot.
Spider's cool too, but
the pinstripes is for sure cool.
You gotta watch what people think, when they try to sell you something, saying it's something special, because I know a long time ago at a show, somebody had a couple king snakes that were this greenish blue color, and they said it was a big thing, and they sold them for $10,000 a piece. Then when they shed, they were normal color. What they did is dipped them in food coloring.
What, somebody was
$100? Well, that's like, the red ball, they use watercolor, wasn't it?
Yep, watercolor. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of different things that happen.
You're funny.
The yellow belly, like the people over in Africa started getting smart about it, and they're like, "This is a different snake, so we're gonna sell it for more money." And the Burmese pythons are coming back. I didn't see that. Burmese python morphs are out there right now.
Yeah, they're making big.
You gotta laugh.
In here.
You gotta laugh at the Burmese python market though, because they were like, no new Burms coming in. Where did that pied come from? Pieds were only over in Europe. They weren't even here.
Bob had them hits for a while, and that's
I suppose.
Well, how about the albino carpet pythons?
Yeah, there's another one. Yeah.
To tell you the truth, when we're breeding in captivity, morphs are going to pop out of people's collections too.
Yeah.
Just like the lemon frost. Lemon frost popped out. They're going to pop out too.
Now, here's a question about the lemon frost. So, do you think the lemon frost popped out due to the genetic flaw in the animal itself?
I'm going to answer your question. You're going to hate me. All morphs are genetic flaws.
Yeah, but do you directly read? Okay. Let me put it this way. Do you think the genetic flaw with the tumors caused the color change in it? Do you think that's what...
No, because how the tumors are linked to that. I think the pigmentation of that is linked it brings out the tumors. And that's what I was trying to tell the Frank guy. I was like, the tumors are linked to the pigment cells. It's the pigment cells. Okay. So
that's what
so you can outcross it all day long. It's the pigment cells, so you're not going to get rid of it because you're breeding for a pigment. Yeah. And I tried to get through to them that there's people in the UK that tried to breed it out. There's people in the States that tried to breed it out. It's been tried, okay, and it's just it hasn't happened. And I told them to get rid of it. It's a bad morph. It's a deadly morph, and the tumors can't be seen, but they can be internal. Just like Enigma, you can't breed the Enigma out, the Enigma syndrome. I don't like it being called the Enigma syndrome, but you can't breed that out. It can't be. Just like the spider gene, you can't breed that out. It can't happen. It's tied to that gene. Woma, hidden gene Woma has the same problem, right? The spinning.
Yeah, there's a few actually. The spider gene, they all have a wobble to a point. Some of them you can't really notice, but like, if you stress the animal out and you don't notice it has a wobble, you'll notice the wobble in it.
Right.
That's you just can't breed these genetics out, and the new generation thinks they're going to do something that the old generation didn't do.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
That ain't gonna happen.
Well, hey guys,
whoa,
it's going on almost 4 hours. I think my phone's about ready to crap out on me here. So I know it's
let's do it again.
We blinked out. We blinked out a couple times.
Yeah, but before we go. I want y'all to tell everybody where they can find both of you. Tell us about, the Reptile Room, where they can find that, your radio show, all that stuff. So
go ahead, Gary, you can do it.
Okay. You can go to the Reptile Room by thereptileroom.org. Registration is free and easy. You can find Fauna Radio at faunaradio.com, or search on Facebook Fauna Radio, or search on thereptileroom.org Fauna Radio. And you could go to my YouTube channel, which is Orner Exotics. Just search Orner Exotics or Gary Orner to pop up too. And then Andrew's DEA Exotics.
Yes.
Yeah, both your YouTube links are in the description of the video down here,
and
so they can find you there.
The radio shows every Friday at 8
Central.
Okay. Cool.
And we try not to. The only time we're gonna have to miss, because guess what? I'll be in Janesville. Andrew could do a show if he wants. Is
but if we can go and listen to that anytime, right?
Yes, I re-upload them. But February
cool.
or March 5th, I will not be able to do it because I'll be setting up in Janesville because I got a 2-day expo. But of course, Andrew can jump on and do a show because he has the power to turn it on live anytime.
Sure.
So
yeah, it's been a good time. Definitely have to get you back on here and chat some more, man.
I'm game anytime.
Yeah, me too. I love this. This was great. Chris, I sent you a text, buddy.
Okay, buddy.
Yep. Yeah, I like doing this. We got to do this more often. This is a lot.
Yeah, I mean, this is a lot of stuff we learned. There's a lot of people in here right at the rip. You know, just even when you're talking to the venomous stuff, and I mean, there's a lot of people that, you know, a lot of stuff they learn don't know about, and that's what it's all about. So
I'm game.
For sure.
I'll talk about anything, anytime.
Cool.
Right on.
Well, I appreciate it.
All right, guys.
Peace.
Right on. Take
Peace.
care. Later.
Yep. And we'll see y'all Friday.
See you later. Peace.